Anyway, hello! I am the Great Wizard Merlan.
2012, world's gonna win.
Oh no, at least it's not 2K. So we are back with more, D&D 5th edition, for you. We're in part 4. So Cassus is quickly, trying to find some bits and pieces, but don't worry, he'll be there in a moment. So quick, little quick recap. We have now reached level 3 at the end of last session. Yep. So we have all got, some other special things, which will be uncovered.
Yeah.
So we are in Obsidia at the moment. We have met Lord F-Grave.
They're based like the Legion of Super Friends.
Oh yeah, Breakfast, Gemini, Lady Gemini. Lord was it Fulbrook? Tall. Oh.
No, I don't have them written down. It's okay.
Fulbrook, and then Avelia. Avelia, not Lady or anything. Just Avelia.
I mean, she might be, but no one's really asked much about her yet.
No. So we got as a challenge, of our abilities and skill, we had a fight in the throne room. At least what I believe was a throne room. Which was fun.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds like some people might have fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. You could have killed us.
It was a challenge. It was fun.
But yeah, we had some little bits for role play, which we did. And then we ended up having was it a feast? Yep. For them probably wasn't a feast, but for us it was a feast.
Oh my god.
Macaria couldn't stay away from her book.
But my book.
Book, right? Yeah. Now, I think a book doesn't talk, or
Make
well, you say that, Merlan.
Just because I have a book in our Thursday campaign, which we don't stream,
anyway.
that does talk. So we went to bed. No.
So we walked back to the rooms, and then we stopped it there. We had some roleplay shit you wanted to do, remember?
Oh yeah, which I'm trying to think of all of that, everything I wanted to say now.
So mainly in the interest of making sure that everyone at home knows what's going on, even if the other players don't know what's going on, I want to try and make sure that all of the roleplay stuff happens on the screen. So these two had a bit of a chat about something after the stream ended, and I said to them that's fine, but I would like them to also do it on screen for your benefit at home. So you can sort of see what's going on, what the character's thinking, feeling, how they're getting to know each other, how they're interacting. So this gives a chance for you to get to know the characters, not just the killers.
Murder hobos.
Well,
yeah, so
yeah.
We've gotten back to my room because that's where all your stuff was.
Yes.
Yep,
Because I helped you out of your armour, I just left my stuff there.
Yep. We were busy, we had shit to get to.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so we get there, and I gotta go grab my stuff. And I'm like, so are you, I don't know, a noble or something?
Yes.
Oh.
Was there anything else?
Well, it's just, you seem so different to how we were on the road.
This is my past. This is who I was when I was growing up. This is how I was brought up to be. Till I left.
Huh. Okay. So you left and you wanted to be drunk?
No, the reason I left made me want to be drunk.
Oh. Then I guess you're probably not doing so well being sober.
I haven't had a drink in a while.
Well, I suppose it's still early. Want to go find a drink?
Can I change first?
Yeah.
Good. Get out of this dress.
I'm going to get changed as well.
So infinitely quicker than her actually getting ready, she gets ready for pretty much your typical night in the town. No, doing up the hair, no, makeup or anything.
I literally just go scrub my face, change into my basics, and I'm ready to go.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
So, you look like you wanted to
Yes.
ask something.
I don't want any of the potions. I don't want any of the things. The only thing I really want is a bag of holding.
This one, I apologise, but no. Based on the level of functionally gift that you're getting for the time that you'll be here for, that's a little bit above.
It doesn't really say how much it is, because I can't figure out costs for anything.
What about a spell scroll? That'd be handy.
Scrolls? Yeah, have a look for scrolls.
I believe the way scrolls work is they are...
Like a one limited use spell.
Yeah, but it's the rarity is based off the spell in the scroll. I believe it goes up to a certain spell level before it becomes rarer, obviously because of the level of magic you've got in the scroll.
Okay.
Yeah, but unfortunately you cannot yet have a bag of holding.
Okay, looking.
Yet.
You have a bag of withholding. You put stuff in, it doesn't come out.
Well, no, you put things in, it just spits it back out again.
Well, that
wouldn't be withholding.
That wouldn't be withholding. Withholding is keeping something from you.
Yeah.
So you put it in the bag and you can never get it out again. Like a savings account.
Oh yeah, but I'm just
You
saying.
put it in and you can't get it out until a certain point.
Yeah, bag that you just can't keep anything in because it just doesn't want to have it.
That's a mimic.
But that wouldn't be holding anything.
Not being funny, but now, as far as I'm concerned, bags of withholding are actually a thing.
Okay.
They're sold as a joke thing, and they come with the express warning that be warned, if you put stuff in, you don't get it out.
Oh, there's probably wizards making good money and sort of unlocking the pocket dimension which it all goes to.
That just would be funny though.
No, great. This is what I get for buying my bags of holding on Ali Bazaar.
Oh
Ali Bazaar,
no.
You'll almost definitely get sort of what you paid for.
So, just with reference then, obviously while you're sort of doing your book reading as normal, so that's not too much of a problem. So you two are going to be going out to try and find a drink. Is anyone else going to be doing anything this evening, or are they going to be trying to rest down, or is there anything else they'd like to be doing?
I'm going to be looking over gun designs.
I'm gonna be looking around our new digs.
Okay. So
you're going to go for a scout.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's a scouty scout.
the easiest one to start with.
Zach.
I can't remember any of my characters' names. Jesus. Zach.
Yes.
So, showing your fair degree of eagerness for your chance to get your very own gun, which obviously you have been told is possible now. You speak to Lady Sire Gemini. So this would probably not be long after food.
Yep.
And so if you wanted to look into either making one or someone who can help you with what would be needed, she would be the one to speak to.
Okay.
So do you go and see her?
I do.
Okay. So you sort of approach her after she starts to walk off to wherever she's going after food. She says, "Oh yes, sorry, you are Zach was the name. Yes, you were interested in guns, correct?
That'd be correct, ma'am.
Okay, how can I help you then?
I was wondering if you could point me in the right direction of where I can get the materials I need to craft one.
Oh well, the materials should be fairly readily available from most of the smithing vendors around the city. I mean, there are a few, but actually crafting one, there's not many places that would have the information available. I do have a book that I don't need. If you have a few minutes to come with me past my room, I can get it for you.
I always have a few minutes for a lady.
Ah, that's very kind. If you'd like to follow me then. So she starts walking off towards what you could probably only guess is some of the not guest rooms.
Yeah.
Goes up a couple of flights of stairs into one of the more, what looks like probably one of the towers for the castle.
I feel I've just walked my entire town in this.
It is rather large. You get used to it. So she gets to the base where it looks like the door into the base of this tower. She says, if you could just hang on one moment. And she steps in, and you hang around for 2 or 3 minutes. And the door then opens, and she comes back out with a slightly dusty book. Not too much so, but it looks like it hasn't probably been read in a few weeks easy. Minimum. And she flicks it open. The first chapter or so is mainly on material quality, types of material that you might want for your weapon. But this one would be for your first build, so to speak. Don't worry too much about returning that one. I haven't needed it in some time. I've mainly only used it to teach a few others, but based on Lysander's evaluation of you all, I don't think I'll need that back.
Thank you.
If you do need any appraisal of any materials, I can certainly look them over for you. But I imagine part of the thrill will be trial and error for yourself.
I believe so as well.
Yes, but best of luck to you with that.
Thank you.
Once you've managed, then I can show you a few of the finer points of the use of them.
Very much appreciated.
I'll be retiring for the evening, so I will, I guess, see you tomorrow.
I think I will do a kind of book to read.
So she sort of nods gently to you and takes her leave. Anything else you're doing there, or are you mainly going to read the books? You know what you need and what you're
Right, time for the
doing?
3-mile hike back to my room.
You're going to read as you go, and just like, I can get through half of this book in that time.
So, Hoff, you were planning to look around
Yes.
the castle somewhat.
I'm going to lay the land, yeah.
Okay, so as far as it goes, it's not actually too complicated. Especially based on when you first came in, and then almost backtracking to a degree. You notice that there's basically a corridor that runs its way all around the size of this castle. It's a big castle. I mean, you think if you were to go from one side to the other and try to get around one end to the other, probably half a day's walk alone. Probably don't go as far as to go all the way around, because that might take you days to explore everything. But just based on the initial layouts and a few of the things that you speak to a few of the castle hands for, they do sort of fill in a few of the blanks without you having to go all the way there. There's various doors dotted all the way around, which are servants and guest entries, emergency exits if necessary. But again, the corridor stretches all the way around, so that it's got almost a ring road feel. If you want to go into sort of highway terms a little bit, there's a lot of inwards corridors and such from there that lead to the various different parts of the castle. You've got the front door, obviously, which has the sizable but not the biggest entry hall necessarily you could imagine, but it's sizable. That leads us into the throne room. The throne room then has corridors out the back, so that whoever sits on the throne for whatever reason doesn't necessarily have to go out the front doors every time. Some of the higher floors you find are more likely to be things like the library, slightly nicer quarters, guest quarters, a couple of meeting rooms and such. You find that there's the kitchen is actually a below ground kitchen. It's below ground level. I haven't actually got a full map for the castle.
That's fine. Well, no, I'm just going to nose my way around, but mainly the keep that we're in.
Oh yeah.
I want to know my way around there, in case things happen.
Yeah, I mean, you get the basic lay of the land, so to speak, fairly well. Couple of hours, sort of having a look around, again, talking to a few of the castle hands and things, and most of them are fairly happy to help. You've got the odd one or two who apologises, but they need to sort of go about duties and things. But even those busy ones sort of point you in the direction of someone who might have a bit more time for you. seems like a fairly jovial atmosphere overall, fairly well, and you get the feeling that the castle hands are treated quite well. Is there going to be anything else that you do, or is it pretty much just getting the lay of the land?
Yeah, just get the lay of the land.
Whenever?
Yeah. And
So,
then turn in.
At some point while you are wandering around, one of the castle hands does come up to you with a sort of dog blanket that has essentially a miniaturized version of the Obsidia crest, and just says to you, should I call you my lord, sir?
Oh no, I'm no lord. I'm a guest here.
Is there a preferred title for you?
Well, you can call me Mr. Spitzwig. That's what people in the caravan call me.
Mr. Spitzwig. Okay. Lord Talbrook requested that we provide you with this. He said something about a dog that may possibly be around the castle at times.
Thank you very much. I'm sure she'll love it.
So it's mainly so that no one confuses her for a stray that might have gotten in for any reason. Not that happens often, but you'd be surprised.
No chance of that. She's quite distinctive.
Excellent. Well, so she hands it across to you. Is there anything you need while I'm here, or?
No. I've been well fed and taken care of. I'm just going to be retiring for the night, and then I'll when my friends are all up in the morning, we will see what is needed of us.
Wonderful. Well, enjoy your stay, Mr. Spitzwig. And she sort of hurries off to carry on with whatever else.
Dog blanket to room.
Yeah, it's reasonably sized and nicely thick, but not too thick. But
okay, so I looked up. So scrolls it has to be on my class level, my class spells, and preferably it should be a spell of my level. Because anything higher than the cast level I have problems casting.
Okay.
So I got a first level scroll of disguise self.
Okay.
And then it has different DCs and different pluses. So I've got a friend that out. That's fine.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
So you two. So you have gotten changed. Probably going on towards about 9:30 at this point, based on my remembrance of the exact times I said last time, which I don't think I did because I've got an awful memory.
Either way.
So say 9:30 at this point.
Yep.
Do you just retrace your steps to pretty much go out the way you came, or are you going to ask anybody anything?
I'm going to start retracing my steps to go back to the main door, and if I see anyone on the way, I'll be like, "Hey, where's the nearest pub?"
Okay.
Tavern.
Can you roll me a d20 and tell me what you get, please?
Okay.
Ooh.
7.
Okay. You only come across one person, and you see them down the corridor, kind of just hurrying off down another thing, and they don't seem to notice you.
Because of my uncanny memory for geography and such, do I remember seeing anything that might have looked like a tavern on the way into the keep or towards the keep?
From where you specifically came in, you think you might have seen a couple, but again, it's one of those things where you don't necessarily think they were maybe the best or worst. You don't really know. You didn't have a lot of time to see, but you think there might be quite a few in a city of this size.
Oh yeah. So, we need to try and find someone. I'm pretty sure I remember there being a couple of taverns somewhere near.
Let's go find a tavern. Let's go.
All right.
So they start walking off towards the door we came in through.
Okay. So you find it without too much hassle. It wasn't exactly the most complicated route from what you remember. You make your way sort of out. Guards that are directly outside the door just give you one of their one-handed fist-to-chest salutes.
As I'm leaving, I'm going to turn. Best tavern.
That's a loaded question. There's a lot, my lady.
Closest.
Probably. grape and pear. Once you get out the gate, second right, third right. Looks over to the other guard. No, second. You were right first time, mate. Yes, second right out the gate. Couldn't vouch for how good it is. Never felt the need to go in, to be honest. But
Thank you.
Guess we'll find out.
But yeah, so they sort of, again, as you sort of start walking off again, they give another salute. You walk across to the outside wall of the courtyard.
Yep.
As you sort of open the door, because there's no one on the inside or anything, one of the guards almost starts as he's looking and goes, "Oh, one of the guests from before.
Yep.
Are you coming back in?"
Yeah, we're going to the pub.
Right. Were you given any tokens or anything for re-entry in case it's not us on the gate?
No.
Oh, they forgot to get the hand stamps.
Give me just one moment, my lady, my lord. He steps back in, sort of past you guys, goes to the sort of guard house next to it, steps in for a second, comes back out and holds out a silver token. Who should I give him this to?
You.
Yeah, I may as well carry them.
If it's not us on the gate for any reason,
I'm going to get way too drunk to
obviously
remember where the fuck
not
that
just
shit
anyone's
is.
allowed in at any time, so that'll get you back in.
Right.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.
I would have sworn they'd have given you one if you were coming back out, but maybe they overlooked it.
Well, to be fair, everyone else has retired for the night.
We didn't really say that we were planning on leaving, so
We didn't realise we had to have permission to come back in.
It's not permission so much. It's just obviously if the guards don't recognise you, and I've not seen you before you came in earlier, but if they don't recognise you, they might not want to let you in, and a lot of the guards are loath to go and wake up the lords while they're asleep. So,
and also because disguised assassins sort of thing.
That's
understandable. I
that's
wouldn't want to wake up the lords.
no, well, they're generally pretty nice, but some of them have an awful temper when they wake up. I mean, if you met Lord Gartak, crikey.
I wrote notes, so I have Cass and Carson go on a drinking adventure.
Another whirlwind adventure.
So
Cascard.
so sort of
Well,
nods to you, gives
what's the best that can happen?
gives a salute. The other guy gives a salute at the same time.
Have a good evening.
Do the same.
They win a
And
castle
yourself.
in a poker game.
That is the best that can happen.
They win a dragon's egg in a poker game.
That would be cool.
Just
No,
going to
no,
point
no.
out, you might find it a bit hard to find one of those in a poker game because no Hagriding.
No.
No, it's like, this is a genuine dragon egg. This is a lizard egg.
I can't do poker. I can play
Just
dragon
a standard
chess.
lizard.
I can't do
From a
poker.
Komodo dragon.
Yeah.
Or a bearded dragon. Or any other kind of lizard that's called a dragon.
You're a bearded dragon, you got a beard.
No, this is a unicorn egg.
Your mum's a bearded dragon.
It's a Welsh dragon egg, there's nothing in it, exactly.
Oh.
Trundle. Pub!
Trundling,
So
trundling.
you step out and it's still fairly busy. It's nothing like it was before. I mean, before you could barely walk without someone brushing up past you because it was just so crowded. Now it's still relatively crowded, but it's not nearly quite so claustrophobically so. There's still quite a lot of people going out. It looks like trade runs a lot later here than you'd normally see it around most towns and villages and things. It does look like there are a few places winding down. There's a few places that have already wound up for the night. You can sort of tell by some of the stands with nothing on them. A couple of the boards up and things. A couple of the other ones sort of look almost exasperated with the customers that are still talking to them, almost like they want to leave.
Everybody in retail knows that feeling. Stop
And here
talking,
we-
go away.
Yeah, and here we come.
We're going to a tavern. Taverns are open later. We're not going to a shop. We're not going to go and buy wine. We're going to go and get pissed.
We could annoy some of the locals. That would be fun.
Go ahead. I'm going to go get drunk.
Alright.
Okay, so for reference then, so you step out the gate and where do you go?
So it was it the second?
Second on the right.
Yeah, second on the right. What's the name? Something and pear.
The grape was the grape and pear.
Grape and pear. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
Because they do wine in Perry, I'm guessing.
So
So we're gonna second one not on the right. Keep an eye out, basically.
okay, so you head out and you go and you find the first right step, go past it, second right. So you pass a couple more stands and things with a few people here and there, and you step into the second right. You go down down one of the not exactly small alleyways, but it's smaller than the main thoroughfare. You step down and you sort of look around and you see a sign that looks like it has a picture of some grapes and a pear.
Yeah, looks like the place.
Yep. Let's go.
Oh, yes, lady.
Just roll my eyes at you as I walk in.
It's the custom.
Just because I am one doesn't mean you have to treat me like one.
Okay, so you step in first and you open the door, and immediately you can see it's relatively busy. There's quite a lot of people of various different races all over the place, each with a drink of some description in their hands or on the table in front of them. There's one or two tables that look like they're not full. You can only see one table that looks like it's actually got no one at it. It's a smaller table, maybe 3 or 4 people could sit around it. A lot of people sat next to the bar. There is a human woman who is behind the bar, fairly quickly serving drinks, getting stuff up, taking money, producing change, impressively quickly, all things considered. And there looks like there's also a man sort of wandering around, sort of bussing tables, taking away empties, and every now and then taking an order or two.
So,
Let's sit down.
no. All right. You get to the seats. Does it look like that? We're going to have to barge our way through, or
Shimmy. It's a shimmy your way through the crowd.
Shimmy, shimmy, oh, shimmy.
I don't know. It depends on how aggressive the crowd is.
Get your elbows out.
Yeah.
So it looks like you've got the 2 avenues of choice. You've either got the what looks like the sort of waiter wandering around busting the tables for their empties, or you've got the counter, which looks like it's slightly quicker just from being there for a couple
Counter
of
it
minutes.
is then.
But even still, it looks like it'll still take a couple of minutes to get the drink, possibly.
Right.
Still, no. Yeah.
Go sit. What do you want?
I'll have an ale. Yeah, I'll go with an ale.
As I head up to the bar.
Okay, so you push your way through the crowd. They're
I'll
not,
just let you go off with a confused face, like.
yeah, they're not stopping you, but there's a few who aren't sort of noticing you, so you have to sort of get their attention. Excuse me, can you, or like sort of just push past. There's the odd one who gives you a grunt, the odd one who looks a little bit frustrated that someone's barging past, but based on how busy it is, it's not surprising. As you get through, the odd person sort of turns around, gives you I love wink. Mainly sort of humans and half elves. A lot of the elves tend to just not acknowledge your looks. They sort of acknowledge that you're in, but they don't seem to objectify you, so to speak. And you get through to next to the bar, and there's a couple of people waiting. Are you gonna hang on till there's a bit of space, or are you gonna sort of push through?
I'll wait patiently, and then if it takes too long, then I'll barge my way through.
Okay, so it takes probably about 2-3 minutes
That's fine.
before someone sort of steps away and sidle in where he was, and you look across, and the bar woman is there, and again, like, it's quite impressive. She'll pick up 3 or 4 bottles at once easily between the fingers, take a knife and literally just straight off all the corks with them, drop them on the table, flick the same hand round for the gold, dip it into a pocket, produce the right change in seconds and hand it to them, give them a bit of a wink and move on to the next person. There's a few words exchanged here and there, but it looks like she doesn't even need to tell people most of the time. after a couple more people being served and sort of grabbing drinks and getting ready to step away, or even staying at the bar, she sort of comes over to you and, what are you having, love?
3 ales, please.
Mug or gallon?
Gallon.
Gallon, alright then, that'll be 4 silver pieces. No, 6.
Hand over a gold.
And she takes three of the slightly bigger ones, because they're gallon jugs. They're quite big. So she has 2 in one hand and the third one in another. Dumps them down on the bar, takes a knife and literally just flicks the three stoppers off of them, and then
Hands over the money.
Yep, she hands over. She flicks out the 4 silver pieces. So I'm counting bad today. Cassus is not good.
You're not good at thinky.
No good at thinky.
1 gold. So that means
Four silver.
I owe you 2 silver. Yes.
Go and sit down.
Yeah, she gives you a little nod and just steps over to the next person.
So I walk back. 1 for you. 2 for me.
Damn. Okay.
Sorry, would you have preferred a mug?
I just wasn't expecting you to get a gallon, but that's fine with me.
Cool. As I drink half of my gallon.
Not wasting any time.
That's better.
So how long have you been drinking for? I was expecting the answers, I don't know, like 30 seconds.
Sometime, I don't know, about maybe, 3 years. 3 years. Gonna go with 3 years.
So a good while. No wonder you're so used to it then. It's like, alright. So let me guess, was it 3 years last time you had to try and be a noble?
Yeah, give or take.
Well, I say try. You still seem to remember your stuff.
It's hard to forget that many years of mother drumming it into my brain.
So what
Go on then, ask all your questions.
Well, that's because there's something really different about you. I'm really intrigued. And because we're going to be sticking around for a while, we may as well get to know each other. Well, and the rest of them when we get a chance.
Ask your questions.
So what made you leave?
One of my brothers killed one of the others, and then wanted to kill me and my twin, so we left.
I have a brief look around to see if anybody else had overheard this. And I take it it's just too busy and too loud to really notice.
Roll me an insight.
Ooh.
Sort of appraising the crowd there rather than just looking.
No. That would be a 6. I'm trained in that. So
you don't know, it's so busy in here that you can barely hear her. you can barely tell your asshole from your elbow in here.
Yeah.
How's that any different from normally?
Hey.
It's not just,
Yeah, the first roll of the night. This is going to be a good session.
At least you're not locked vampire.
That's true.
We don't know yet.
For now.
For now.
Yeah, it's
I'm watching you.
it's a serious family business.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ouch. So, wow. I take it you haven't seen your family at all since?
Nope. If I go back, my brother will kill me. I'm planning on getting strong enough to get to the point where he won't be able to.
So, kill him before he gets a chance to kill you.
No, kill him before he gets a chance to kill my brother.
That works too. Chug.
Wait, how much do you get through?
Well, considering you pretty much went half a gallon, I've kind of taken a few gulps, so probably not nowhere near half.
At least he's trying.
Bless.
It's fine. I've got a fairly decent con, so it's not that it's not that bad.
Yeah, so if you want a life story, after I left my home, I went up to... Sorry, map. Went to Port Saltwash
That's the one.
and got a boat over to Forterre. Hiked towards the Ice Heart Mountain, almost died, and lost my brother. My twin brother, not one of the other brothers. I have many brothers.
How many brothers?
7. Well, 6 now.
Oh, no, I've only got 2. Yeah, provided nothing's happened to them, of course, but...
Yeah, so lost my twin, got stuck. People tried to kill me because of who I am. And then, yeah.
So, yeah. Well, your story is infinitely more interesting than mine.
Go on then, what you got?
It's like, well...
Fell off a turnip cart. You just fell off the turnip cart and you're here.
Well, you know, it's not that much different. It's like, well, effectively one day I got bored of living the life that was set out for me. And I travelled and ended up in Saxton.
Yeah, you're right,
that's-
mine's more interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you know, my family's quite a prestigious line of traders, but...
Oh yeah?
Traitors.
Yeah, the Reinhardt trading caravan. You may have heard of them.
One history film.
No.
It's a hipster
This-
caravan.
I'm
you've
doing
never
this
heard
in
of them.
character. I may have, but I've drunk a lot since then. Ever been to a Mistgate?
No. Can't say that I have.
That's my home.
Yeah, so that's the one up north, isn't it? No?
No.
So it's
Look on your map,
it's
it's
actually
actually
the
on
only other thing marked on the map. That's more for my reference than anything else. But you actually couldn't point it out on the map because you don't know where it is. Again, a lot of places like Mistgate aren't normally marked on the map. Saxton and Mistgate are for plot convenience more than anything.
Okay.
But most maps don't actually have them marked on, so you don't know where it is and you've never been there.
And it's like, yeah, whereabouts is that anyway?
Right, I take from where we were. I'm gonna be like, that way.
So not quite Port Saltwash.
No, so you've got Port Saltwash.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Saxton.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was about here.
Right. Maybe I can figure that one out. Chug.
As I finish my gallon and pick up the next.
I'm probably getting close to halfway.
Okay, so do you guys...
We're basically just
Yeah, we're just going to pretty much, you know, commence with more small talk as we get drunk.
Both
basically.
of you roll me Constitution saves, please.
Woo! Oh god. What did you? What number is that?
It's a 20.
Witness.
Did you roll a 1?
I rolled a 2, so my con is 4. I'm on my ass
I
already.
didn't see the word no on yours.
Oh yeah, no, I rolled this one.
So,
Yeah.
mine is 23.
Okay, how much do you want to spend on getting drunk tonight?
I feel like I finished a challenge.
Well, I want to
With-
get to the point.
With your con save, you can drink exactly pretty much as much in monetary value as you want to drink. With his, you can get him as pissed as you want because he doesn't know after this first one how pissed he is.
So because we're still sat down, so
He hasn't got a clue how pissed he is.
Okay, so.
oh no, I could be causing some trouble tonight.
Well, to round out my numbers, let's go with 6 gold worth.
Fucking hell. Alright,
And how much is a gallon of ale?
2 silver.
Fuck.
So please mark off.
But remember,
Six
historically, if we're working with that, ale wasn't as strong. Beer wasn't as strong as it is today
Mm-hmm.
because beer was merely made as a way of sanitising water.
Okay. So unless we hit the stronger stuff.
Whereas only since the 70s that beer has been made strong for the sake of being strong.
However, 6 gold worth is still gonna
Oh,
get
yeah,
him fucking
That's a
rat ass.
shit ton, yeah.
I'm right.
Okay,
I could probably go for double this
Gonna
amount.
get my
but-
drunk on.
I could probably go for double
Well,
this
'cause it's-
amount, but I'm
Get your
alright.
drink on.
It's 30
Get
drunk.
your smoke on. Get some of the poke on.
Yeah, that's.
I'm getting 20, you're getting 10. Because I'm doing the 2 and 1 each
Yeah, it
time.
depends on if I get that far with how low I roll on my con save.
Okay. So based on the amount that you're drinking, you're able to get you both back to the castle. By about midnight, 12:30, you can't stand up on your own, and you are not processing common words of language.
Brilliant.
The rough language you're employing, especially when a girl walks past that you're actually quite attracted to, is
you don't normally go for fat chicks, but you look pretty cool.
All I'm thinking is, girl, you make me tongue-tied.
Tongue-tied. But yeah, she
no.
mildly disgusted look and walks on.
Or to the point where it's just like no no personal space. Oh, but like, damn you ugly, but I'd still let you do me.
You must be an angel because you got big cans. Or being sick or being sick on her. That's always a good one. That's just go, hey there. Oh no, I'm just being a bit sick while you're trying to...
Hey baby, are you an angel? Because I'm allergic to feathers.
So at the end of the night, as I stand up to leave, and I see him fail to stand up to leave.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm going to...
He sort of looks up at you, and you almost see in his face that his intention is to stand up and leave with you. It sort of ends up as... and he actually slams face first into the desk, half raises an arm and slips off the chair.
When I hit the floor, when it hits the floor, I just go as okay. I'm trained.
That's a 10.
Trained.
I rolled a 4.
You're able to check.
Okay, so it's slow going, but you functionally drag him out of the tavern.
I'm gonna take a second and try again to.
Like the waiter who's still sort of bossing a few of the tables, it's gotten less busy at this point.
He's been around our table a lot.
He sort of comes up and helps you hoist him a bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do much more than that.
I'm such a gentleman.
I rolled worse that time.
Yeah, okay, so you end up actually dragging him even slower, but you get him out the door, and at this point you're almost sort of full Nelson, arms up underneath his, and just dragging him backwards a bit at a time. At one point, one of the guards actually wanders up to you, says, excuse me, miss, is everything alright there?
He tried to keep up with me. He couldn't make it. Can you...
He sort of bends down and goes, oh, I can smell it, yeah.
I start patting down your pockets to find where you put the coin.
Oh yeah, no, I ended up putting it in my chest pocket.
So patting you down and then till I find it, I'm like, can you help us get back? Because he's dead weight.
At least it's not far away. Yeah, I'll give you a hand.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. That's nothing 19 on the roll, so yeah.
He just picks him up, you know.
Yeah, he literally just fireman's carry straight over the shoulder. Roll me another con save.
All that worse
Not to
thing
throw
is
down his
where
back.
you
Yeah.
lay down and you still think you're going to fall.
Really? My luck is terrible.
What'd you
4
roll?
again.
Okay, so you actually buff straight down the back of his really nice heavy black armour. And then the guy goes,
I am so sorry. I will pay for that to get cleaned.
we wouldn't worry about it. Just please don't make me do this again.
Pretty colours.
He's going in the river.
And no, what would be the whole, oh no, I can smell sick. Gonna be sick again.
Well, no, it weren't for the fact that you're a guest at Obsidian Keep. Probably drop him right.
Well within your right.
Get the drug tank,
So he walks.
Hey! Somebody threw up on you.
He walks with the two of you to the castle wall.
So
keep wall.
as we're walking, I'm
You
like,
put them in the
yeah, I
stocks
thought he'd be
for
able to handle it better,
drunkenness.
but apparently
You can throw things at him.
11 gallons of ale is too much for him.
I think you fit that inside a person.
I'm pretty sure 11 gallons of ale is too much for most people.
That's probably 11 gallons would have passed through him, maybe.
Is that too
He
much?
has what alcohol them.
I had like 24. 24?
Most
You can drink 11 gallons
Most
of water.
people get through 3 or 4 gallons on a binge night.
Oh.
I'll be surprised if he's not dead in the morning. I'm going to be honest. So you get to, by that point, because it wasn't that far away, you do get to the door. The two guards there, they are different guards to before.
Yeah.
They sort of salute with an almost quizzical look.
I'm gonna
Just act
salute
like you
back.
belong there.
It's what I do anyway. I
Yes.
salute back.
One says, "Can we help you?" Ah, right, okay. Guests. Right. So he opens the
I'm
gate.
so sorry.
The guard who's got him over his shoulder says, "You're right from
Check
here, or
that
do
when
you
we're in the
need me to
bar.
help you in there as
No,
well?"
I'll be alright from here.
Yeah.
Roll again. Do better. Oh, that's better. 16.
16. Okay, that's absolutely fine. So he flicks him over again. Roll another con save because you are being jostled around again. And you found 11 gallons.
That's 3 fucking 2s in a row.
Yep.
Form.
So all the way down your back now. You're not wearing armour. You're
you
wearing
know-
clothes. So
I'm
that
wearing my
starts to
travelling clothes.
Oh, do you know what could be worse? If you know when you've got like a loose collar and someone's there and they go down your collar.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, what? Everywhere I go, there's shoot.
Right. So I'm going to make my way back inside, get to his room, put him in the bath, and turn on the tap.
Oh, that's right, drown me.
Okay, so
Splash your face.
much like it does to piss people, it does wake you up a bit. You are still heavily intoxicated, but you are a bit more awake with the intoxication. Again, you're still not using common.
You're moist.
I'm taking off his nasty vomit-filled top. I ain't touching the pants.
Just take his clothes off, leave him on the floor, cover in a blanket, put him in the recovery position, and just back away.
I don't do this, Healy shit. I don't know how to, keep him from choking on his own vomit.
You do see in each room
Don't
there
dig on
is
his
a basically a basket
Yeah,
that
yeah,
has
yeah.
a
Pointing
little,
into his mouth.
plaque on it that says laundry.
Straight in there. Feel very sorry for whoever picks that up.
And then an eye patch.
Oh,
Put an eye patch
and
on.
then shave his eyebrows off.
And then once I've gotten you thoroughly drenched,
And then
turn the tap off, let everything drain,
Have we got a picture
and just
demon?
leave him in there.
Take a photo.
Because if he throws up, at least he's in the bath.
Sharky tuxedo.
Or a really
Yeah.
good. Or,
To be honest, at this
or a really
point,
good,
I'm potentially going to
embroidered
babble for a
tapestry
bit and
of
then
all the
pass out.
guards teabagging
That's
him.
about the size of it.
Going,
As I-
Do you hook his arms around the bath so he doesn't slip in and drown?
Oh, I've emptied all the water out anyway. So.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the,
So
this
he's
is the
literally
panel
just
of
lying
being
in the
sick.
bath.
This is the panel
And I'll
of
say, can
Russell
you go and
teabagging
sort
you.
of clean up a little bit?
This is what happens to wash your
Washing.
body hair.
Clean
Okay.
myself up.
This is
Go to
this
bed.
is sticking stuff in your butt.
So
It goes back.
it was an actual 20, but you did drink 20 fucking gallons worth of.
Yep,
or
I'm gonna be
21
hungover.
gallons worth of drink. 22 actually.
22.
So
It's
you
actually
are.
possible.
You do have a
Bitchin'
barely
hangover.
fucking stinging headache.
Oh yeah.
You wake up in the morning and
You
you
have a renal
wish you were
failure.
dead. Like, I'm not kidding. You genuinely wish someone would just kill you.
It's like,
Can I wake up early, bright and refreshed?
You have gone to bed exactly whenever you felt most comfortable, and you have gotten up bright and early.
I never
Have
wasted.
to have a bit of a walk.
And all my spells came back. Wonderful. I want time to go into the library before breakfast, and they said that they would be there from dawn, so I'm going to be there like exactly the time they told me to be there.
Oh, what, at breakfast?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be there for
Yeah.
breakfast.
So, are you going down a bit later than dawn, or are you going at dawn as well?
Yeah, no, I'm used to waking up with the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, so the two of you get up at the absolute ass crack of dawn.
Yep.
And it's fairly quiet around, and you do get down. You swing past the library, and you both roughly
Take
at
the
the same
dog out to
time.
the courtyard for a shit.
Hang on, go walk my dog.
Yeah, you both.
I ride no dog walks me. I ride the dog.
Yeah.
Jump
Yeah.
on. Yep.
You both roughly get to the dining hall at the same time.
Bless you, my child.
There is food there.
Yay.
There are 3 or 4 castle hands who look like the early risers to do jobs, and no one else.
Any hand there?
No, so the castle hands are sat eating. They're sort of having their breakfast as well.
Their breakfast before they start their early morning
Alright.
duties.
You have a feeling that probably the kitchen hands probably either eat while they're preparing, or they prepare theirs earlier, eat it, and then prepare for everyone else.
So I'm gonna climb up onto a chair and sit on it awkwardly, looking above the table. So what's the routine around here?
Oh well, don't often see any of the guests up this early.
I'm not used to being a guest.
Well, that's reasonable. So I suppose the routine, I guess, or our jobs, is we tend to get up and do a lot of the early morning type chores and things, and various jobs. We often do a lot of the beds in the rooms once people have gotten up and gone about their days. The kitchen staff have all. They all eat before dawn and make sure that food is prepared for dawn for us. Most of the guests and lords don't tend to be here until around sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock normally.
Hmm.
So you've probably got a couple of hours before they're actually up.
Well, I normally run with caravans. I'm used to being up with the dawn. I can carry things. I can chop wood. I can start your fires. Anything you want doing?
I mean, we. Again, usually the guests wouldn't help with such tasks. I mean, we're obviously hired and paid to do our various jobs, and there are people who are paid to do such things, the wood cutting and things. I'll be honest, we've not really had offers of help from guests ever.
I'll come back when breakfast is on.
Okay, I'd probably suggest speaking to one of the lords, maybe. I mean, they probably know better. If there was someone to speak to about helping, we largely just get about with our usual jobs, I'm afraid.
Did you totally help them by unionising them?
Bring on the union.
No union talk. No union talk around here.
Oh dear.
Funnily enough,
Big strike tomorrow.
I'll say funnily enough,
Yeah.
based on how well they're fed and generally it looks like how well they're treated, they probably don't need a union. Unions are probably worse off than they are.
But how will I spread my
so
message
you're
of
down.
communism?
I'm gonna hop on my dog because it's a quick way to get around this big castle. Yep.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go look for. Let's see who. Let's see who we can find.
Okay, I'll come back to you in a moment because obviously Macaria came down for breakfast pretty much at the same time.
Okay, I'm in the library.
Okay, I see. Oh yeah, you know while he was taking the dog for a shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, because he went. I was like, I said I'm going to go to breakfast the time they told me to, so I thought I'd go to the library first. There are certain books I'm looking for. One, I want to know if this library has any different books on Shadowfell, because that's my area of expertise that I'm a scholar in.
Okay, so you head in and you can hear some rustling from the same room that you found the librarian in the night before. Are you just going to look around the library, or are you going to ask her?
I'm going to look first, and then if I can't find anything, then I'm going to ask. So.
Okay, so you look around. Roll me a investigation, please.
Investigate.
20.
Okay, so you fairly quickly find sections on the various magics, and you find one that looks like it has a few books on different planes. But immediately sort of flicking through a couple of the books to sort of get an idea, there doesn't appear to be much more than a few passing notes or mentions of the Shadowfell, sort of thing that you've seen in more detail in other books from Sorketh. It doesn't look like they place too much emphasis on researching planes here, or at least they haven't had any books donated that would be to that effect.
Okay. So I basically think that the stuff that I want to research in this place may not be very useful.
Not here at the very least. Again, when you actually look around, you immediately see that the library itself is fairly well categorised, and you find that with barely a few moments of looking around, you get a feel for how it's all organised, and you don't think you're likely to find anything more than possibly folk tales or maybe very fictitious stories about the Shadowfell in other places.
Okay.
I mean, you've read a few of the fictitious stories about the Shadowfell.
Bless you.
Thank you. In fact, no, don't. I might burst into flames. So yeah, you've read a couple of the fictitious books, and just as you're sort of wandering around, you do see one or two of those books on the shelves, but again,
So-
very fictitious.
My own book about Shadowfell is much more interesting than any of these ones then.
Yeah, it has a fair bit more information than these.
Okay. The other thing is as I pass by, I'm going to pick up a book about courting. We discussed this, but we weren't going to do it on stream, so I thought I'd do it on stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's the one where we said it's about noble courting and the usual, how that works. So I've got, written my own little notes and gone, okay, and put it back.
Sure. Okay.
50 Shades of Beige. Rather
Do
than
you
grey.
do anything more than that, or?
I don't think there's anything of particular interest to research in here, right? I can see. Is there anything that catches my eye? So I have, as a researcher, that I have particular lore books or information in a library down to the DM's discretion is something that they may be something I want to pick up to look at.
There's a couple of things that have a little bit of interest about Obsidia's history, if that interests you at all.
It does actually.
It seems like recent for a history book. I mean, it's only the last sort of 100 years or so. And it sort of has a little bit of detail about how they've cracked down on things like dwarven racism. Just because, even though the schism was 1600 years ago now, in recent years, because of some of the banditry from some of the less than honest dwarves, it does talk about how they seriously crack down on dwarven racism.
Yes, and all those ignorant people mistaking gnomes for dwarves.
How are they cracking it down? As in, they're being very harsh about people being racist, or they're really being harsh about how dwarves are treating other people?
They're being really harsh about people being dwarves.
You short fucker. No, essentially, not only do they very quickly and immediately arrest anyone who appears to be doing any such thing, they also have fairly harsh punishments for it. All cases are investigated, but and through looking at this book, you do see that in Obsidia, any crime, no matter who's committing it and who's the victim, everyone involved is immediately arrested and then sorted out after the point of arrest.
Sorry, I didn't understand. So, harsh punishment for those who are racist to dwarves. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Right.
I mean, there's harsh punishments for being racist to any race, but I mean they make clear examples of those who are racist just because they're dwarves, just because they're the most common target, so to speak. But yeah, any crime in Obsidia, everyone involved is just immediately arrested, and then like it's dealt with at that point. It's investigated.
Yay, guilty until proven innocent.
Can I have a look after that on a book on obsidian laws, please?
You can, yeah. There's a couple of them in there.
Just I know we've got some here for some of the ones we've got.
Women must not get rat-arsed. Fuck.
Do I get to have another thing because I've done a research into the place?
I'm just looking to see if I've got one of my print-offs for it. But
if not, you can send it to me later.
Oh yeah, what I'll probably do is do a print off.
If you think about little actors,
okay, so I can get one from video.
Yeah.
Yay!
Again, it will take you a little while to read through them.
That's what I'm doing.
But yeah, I will make sure to get you the basics of it. But again, it's fairly typical of the Valir laws, where murder is illegal, theft is illegal, black marketry, all that kind of stuff. Your typical things that you'd expect to be illegal are illegal, but otherwise it's a fairly progressive city.
Okay, that's fine. Cool.
But yeah, I will pass that to you once we've got a print off next time.
Thank you, do.
But do you spend a bit more time sort of looking at it in there before heading off, or do you?
I actually think one of the books I'm going to ask to check out with my librarian friend.
Friend.
Yeah.
Friends.
I forgot to write her name. So in character, I've actually totally forgotten her name. So I'm going to go back up to her to return the book I borrowed from yesterday to take out the book of Battle Obsidia that I'm reading currently. Okay,
so you walk in, and again, she's out the back, so again, she still seems to be cataloguing some of the new books, and she doesn't notice you walk in.
Salutations.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What's the time?
Morning.
That's very helpful. Thank you very much. Sorry, how can I help you?
I'd like to return the book I borrowed yesterday and check out another book.
Oh, right, yes. if I may. So she takes the book, flicks through to the sort of thing page. Looks at the book, writes down, puts it to the side. And what book is it you're planning to take?
This one. I've probably got like a nice big thick one about Obsidia that I'm reading. This one.
That's a very popular one to take out. This one.
What's the more popular one to take out? I'm interested about the city.
No, sorry. It's less that there's more interesting ones and more that most people don't seem to need to know. A lot of the people through the keep are fairly regular. They know a lot about the city, so they don't generally take this out. But sorry, it's idle ramblings. I apologise.
I'm not sure how much time I actually will have here since I have to do teachings, but I will give you an extra 2 gold for every book of interest that I don't know anything about in your library. That you think will be interesting for me to read.
I mean, I can certainly.
I'd like a minimum of 10.
List.
Yes.
Yes, I will certainly get to that once I've finished cataloguing these books.
Thank you.
As she sort of points, there's a pile of probably about 200 books that she's currently cataloguing. I apologise. Once I've gotten through this, yes, certainly enjoy. It is a good read for those who don't know Obsidia. But,
I open the book, and I have one of those things where you can walk and read.
Yeah.
Yes.
She sort of shakes her head idly and goes back to cataloguing.
So, hey, you want some money? Have some money. Pick out books for me.
You smell that? That's right. It's money.
It's primary books.
A librarian knows the books better than anyone else, so she'd be the one to ask.
Yep.
So very quickly, so Zach and you two, what sort of times are you guys all getting up?
I'm getting up about 9, half 9.
Okay.
You should roll and see when he gets up.
Yes.
I might be awake, but I might be dying at the same time.
Roll a d12.
Roll death
See
save.
if it's before lunchtime.
Actually,
Death save.
Don't
Death
have
save.
roll
Death
me
save.
another con save.
Oh. Come on, please dice, please dice. Give me higher than a 2. Oh, that's better.
That's higher than a
12?
Wait.
Okay, so you can reasonably wake up
Yeah.
maybe an hour or 2 after your normal wake up time.
Okay, well, I'm used to waking up at the crack of dawn. Now, considering that when we went to sleep and how wasted I was, it's probably going to be at least 9 o'clock.
Okay. You do wake up and immediately throw up again.
But I'm in the bathtub, so it's fine.
But after throwing that up, you reckon
Where's it all coming from?
a fair majority. It's mostly liquid.
Yeah.
You reckon a fair majority of the actual intoxicant liquor is gone,
Yay!
but you still have a headache that feels like you want someone to smash it open with a hammer,
Yeah, it's like, huh!
because that would be merciful in comparison.
Maybe we can get the local physician to trepan you.
I don't know, I might not be able to leave this bathtub.
We get some leeches and we
Oh,
can drain
you
him.
can go about your day.
No,
You
the
can
pressure is in the
communicate.
head. You need to
You
trepan
can
him.
get dressed.
Alchemist version.
Drilling a hole in his
Fucking
head.
hurts your head.
Yeah, because I'd imagine
It's
like right now,
an
just adding
age-old,
salt to injury,
remedy
the
for
sunlight
all sorts
is
of things.
beaming through a window, just over there.
Oh yeah. Fun you should mention that.
Well,
you know
I
the
mean-
music video to
Well, he
Great
seems
Day,
to be being
where
sick, so I
he
think
opens a window and
he's got
it's
excess
burning
of,
his
excess of
eyes.
yellow bile, so we need to get the yellow
That.
bile out of him.
Yeah, it's like,
His body's expelling the yellow bile.
That pig's. Get my
Though
clothes
Cassus
on.
has suggested that you do cocaine to get rid of your headache.
When did I suggest that?
It's going to be a great day!
No, I used that as an example, not a suggestion.
I still think we should trepan him
Show you after.
to release the pressure from his head.
oh
Get up.
no.
And
Get
what sort of
my
time do you reckon
clothes
you're
on.
going to get up quickly?
Do my hair.
Not that anyone else medically minded.
I fell asleep in the library making designs for the guns.
Sure,
Oh,
okay.
did I find him in the library?
What time are you going to wake up? Is my question.
Whenever someone nudges me.
So after dawn.
Because
you
I
You
would
do
have
find him in the library.
been up like really late into the evening burning.
I have I'm about to leave again. I go,
Yeah, you sort of
oh,
notice
it's
him.
that guy. So I got and
Because
I've
this does
got
happen earlier, so.
I have a quill and I'm just gonna poke you with it.
Just stab!
No, not hard, like
Morning, ma'am.
Come here, I'll show you.
that doesn't seem a very comfortable place to rest.
No, must have got carried away.
I'm going to breakfast.
That actually sounds like a fantastic idea. I'll be right with you.
Okay, I wasn't suggesting you come with me. I was just telling you where I was going. I thought maybe you could have a wash before you came if you slept here.
That's actually an even better idea.
Okay.
I'll see you down there.
Okay, so for reference then, so you're going to go back and wash up. Are you just going to wash up and go back down, or are you going to wash up and do anything else before you go down?
Wash up and go back up.
Cool, so you'll probably arrive a few minutes after them, so by the time you sort of get down there, Hoff's there talking to one of the castle hands. Makari is sort of there eating and...
Wait. I found out because I have mage hand as cantrips, and my mage hand can hold my book and I can eat and then turn the page.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I'd probably go as far as to say, because it's not a strenuous task and it's not combat orientated, you could probably turn the pages with the mage hand as well.
Oh, as long as that would be good.
Mostly because it's not something seriously strenuous or like seriously complicated.
Basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to start engaging Hoff in conversation, and then what's actually going to happen is I'm talking to him about facts about Obsidian, but not even caring if he responds to me because I haven't noticed.
No, I'm quite interested to know about the. I've not been here before.
So
you're rambling.
She's Wikipedia!
No,
in word form.
No, tell me about some fan fiction.
Did you know that lots of people believe that the Lord is shagging one of his friends? Thank you, Wikipedia.
Not being funny, there's none of that in the book.
no, I just was be talking about like the walls.
Did
and
you know that only
the
30% of the people in the city have ringworm?
Only 3% of the rebels got beheaded.
Yeah, basically, I'm just talking about interesting facts as they come up, but I'm stopping to eat because I think they're really interesting.
I say the one of the things that you find really interesting is the book mentions that there's no recorded history of the city prior to 2,000 years ago.
And the keep is made of different stone to the walls, is that correct?
It is actually, yeah. There is a really strong, almost magically tempered granite type rock for the outer wall. It is very thick and very sturdy stuff, and it's also painted black.
That's
to
actually
go,
really interesting.
yeah, because it's not naturally black, but it's painted black to go with
on the outsides. Yeah.
Inside as well of the outer wall.
That's not a very practical colour for inside.
No, but
If I'm picturing cities, it's got one ring around it, which is the wall, and then we've got one which is the keep. Is it a series of rings, or is it just one and then the
okay,
keep?
so you've got the massive outer wall, which is absolutely huge. Then you've got a day's walk to the inner wall, which is also fairly huge, not as huge as the outer wall, funnily enough.
Yeah.
But,
It's a donut.
yeah.
Is there a keep
And
in the
then
middle?
the keep is in the middle of that. So it's functionally three
It's a target.
walls. Yeah, there's 3 walls. And the city itself is contained within the inner wall outside the keep. So this is all city. And based on the fact that it is a day from the outer wall to the inner wall, and you actually don't have a good gauge of how big the city is because you teleported straight from the outer wall to more or less right next to the keep.
Cool.
But it suggests that it would probably take a good few days to get from one end of the city to the other, outer wall to outer wall. Like 4 or 5 easy. Yeah, 4 or 5 easy.
Pretty much thinking a day from there to there, and then from that wall to that wall, it's a day.
I mean,
sort of thing.
the keep itself is about half a day across on its own, from one end to the other. It is a big.
Excuse me.
I need to not
Big
have
place.
Attack of the Titan theme tune in my head now, so I'm reading it.
Funnily enough, it does have a similar idea to it. Think, because it does have the 3 walls in a similar fashion.
Yeah.
But it's a bit closer to that of Ba Sing Se from Avatar: The Last Airbender,
She's not seen it.
which obviously at some point you will see because we will subject you to it.
Okay.
That's not the M Night Shyamalan one.
No,
Good.
the real one,
Good.
the
That one does not
animated one.
exist.
Why did you bring that up?
We'll cut it off there.
So basically, I'm talking about how the distance is between the walls and the keep.
The city used to be
And-
colossal.
Yeah, just talking about that. But then I was talking about how there's no recorded history before 2,000 years ago. But as everybody knows, it has been 1,623 years since the dwarf schism. To be it's 400 years after before that.
I bet some of the dwarves know. They keep records in their halls.
Are the others not good at timekeeping?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not sure whether. I was looking around last night, and 2 of them went out.
Out where?
Outside the walls.
There's no reason to go outside the walls at the moment.
I think they wanted to see the nightlife. Get a drink, maybe.
Why?
People enjoy such things.
I don't understand the purpose behind it.
It's a way to relax one's mind, unwind, take your focus off things.
Why don't they better themselves with their time?
Some people think that enjoying life is a way of bettering themselves.
But I do enjoy my life by reading. I wouldn't understand why I'd want to drink something that would damage my mind.
And that's your choice.
I suppose. Here is another interesting fact for you. There you go.
Look, conversing, we're blending.
So she's sort of halfway through one of her interesting facts to Hoff, who is sort of listening, and you come into the dining hall. At this point, it's probably only about 7:30. It's still not particularly late in the morning yet. It's fairly early still.
Feet is so 1 for me, 2 for dog. 1 for me, 2 for dog.
Oh, okay. About the magical
it's bigger
granite
than they
walls
need
that
to-
are actually made of black but not made of obsidian. That's my interesting fact we've got to. Just the fact you walked in on as I'm saying it. I have a book floating in midair that's turning pages on its own as I'm reading.
I didn't bat an eyelid at
Come down, just sit beside you.
Have you put on any curiosity about what the lady said to you yesterday? Amelia?
Yes.
What does disaster often strikes twice then thrice, each a greater and more terrible?
Well, I've had a few setbacks in my life. It's possible there'll be more. It's always possible.
As in natural disasters?
Well, no, I lost my job. That was a bit of a disaster. That was because of that was the increase in attacks on the caravan. Could be something with my family, but I'm a long way from there. I would not hear for weeks, maybe months.
I don't know. I'm a great believer of fate and destiny. I always think in these sort of things you should put some thought into them. I try to think. I try to think not too far ahead, because as I said, these things they come up, they happen, they throw your plans out. No point in thinking more than a week or a month ahead. Make your plans. Be flexible.
Step 1, make a plan. Step 2, carry out the plan. Step 3, wait for plan to fall off the rails. Step 4, abandon the plan.
I am fairly flexible, but I'm guessing you mean more flexible of mind than flexible of body. But not many people appreciate me talking about how flexible I am of body.
No, I was thinking they say a plan. A good plan is always the first casualty.
Do they? Why would they say that?
Well, because no matter how much you plan, things never quite work out how you think they will.
That makes more sense. I like that. What about you, sir? What did you think about what Amelia said about you?
I'm still trying to figure out what it means.
Well, stories aren't always nothing more. Heroes have a way of leaping out of the pages into something real. Did you accidentally conjure something before?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I tried to write a story once, but as a famous author once said, the first draft of everything is shit, and he was right about mine.
But no man like his blooming sharks.
Blooming sharks.
Blooming sharks?
We'll show you later.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, are the others going to be joining us? I just said this to Hoff. They seem to have terrible time managing.
From what I heard walking down the hall, it sounds like they went out and got a little destroyed.
Can I take an animal handling role and send the dog to go retrieve them?
Well,
Well, you can
Or
certainly
so,
give it a go. The dog's still not very familiar with the layout yet.
Okay.
It's still a bit sort of new. She's sort of very sticking close to you at the moment.
I can go find them.
I wish I had a way of contacting them.
Right, I'm going to jump on the dog.
What's the way to contact him? Don't worry, miss. I'll be there.
Come on, yep.
For reference, is anyone leaving the breakfast hall before everyone else is around? Cool. So you guys will be there sort of chatting with us. That's fine. So, this is sort of probably about... Still probably about 7:45 yet. That you are heading off to go and find them.
Yep.
So you head off.
Riding down the corridor.
So you get up to where the rooms are.
Yep.
You get up relatively quickly because the dog can move quite fast.
Mm-hmm.
Which room are you going to first?
Whichever one I find first.
Okay. Let's say yours.
Oh, no.
By
This
the
is
logic
great.
of, hers was the first one you went into when you arrived. He's coming from the other end, and yours would then be further on because she already took one of the ones nearer to the way he came in.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, I'll knock on his door.
Okay. Imagine someone has just hit you in the head with a hammer every time his fist hit the door.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh,
Bearing in mind,
shut
the
up.
knocks are fairly light based on the size of him.
So he's doing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're hearing Big Ben.
Carson, are you okay in there?
Yeah, someone was twatting
We're
him
having
on the head
breakfast.
with
We're
it.
having breakfast. Quite good. Okay, I'll leave you to it.
It's like, oh no.
Is that a demon in there with you?
He's like, turn off the sun.
Not a very good impression, but I guess.
So if he sort of left you to it and stepped on at that point, you would probably then still fall asleep until closer to about 9, based on how fucking wasted you got.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not persisting to get you up. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Wait for it.
so yeah. So the next room.
Oh
Which,
no, this is
I
like
suppose
this
you
normal
get
way
to.
of being woken up.
No way.
No, but wang. No, I think it's gonna be wang num.
Let's be Wanganum, yeah.
Yeah. So
Right. Yeah. No,
yeah.
no,
So
no.
see, there's a little. It's not quite hammer in the head.
Yeah, I know.
but-
I'm just like, it's like a normal hangover.
Yeah, Cassandra.
It's normal for me.
Cassandra.
Yep.
Sorry, so anyway, we were all we were assembling for breakfast. It's quite good.
What time is it?
What was it 9 now? Yeah.
No, that's when he's actually getting up.
Alright,
because
half
he's not
eight.
persisted. It's
That's-
probably
yeah.
still about 7:15,
Yeah.
10 to.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Wait, no.
7:45, 10 to 8. My bad. Sorry.
It's nearly 8.
Fine. Give me ish minutes.
Okay, I'll see you back at the hall.
Yeah.
Yep, come on, go.
Right, so you trot off back down the hall and you get back to the dining hall.
Is my top still in the laundry pile covered in sick?
No, it is clean. It
Awesome.
has already been cleaned and put back, and it is dry.
House elves.
Pop that on.
Yeah.
I got little legs
Dawn
and long to
staff.
go.
Quick, put everything together.
Yes.
Sort my shit out. I ain't going fancy. I'm just wearing my bog standard clothes,
Yeah.
and I'm going to his room.
Oh.
I'm not
Okay.
even knocking.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm
I-
going in.
Yeah, I was naked in the bath, wasn't I?
No, you weren't naked. You still had your trousers on.
Oh,
She
okay.
said she wasn't going near those.
I
So-
ain't touching your pants.
Oh, well, now.
You've already passed back out by this point. You're not going to throw up this time when you're woken up, depending on what she does.
Mm-hmm. That's
She
fine,
might-
but
she might
there's
punch you
already
in the
sick
stomach
in the
before
bath.
it's
No.
Smell.
So I'm gonna go straight in.
Stank.
As I'm walking in, I see the bed is still exactly the way it was.
Yeah, his clothes are clean in the thing you put them in again. So again, they're clean.
All of them. Are his trousers in there as well?
No, they're still on him and covered in sick.
No, that's cool.
It
Yeah,
looks
you
like they probably don't take
Blood.
the clothes off of people.
His blood. Blood.
Yeah, so I
Blood.
walk in and I see
Blood.
him in the bath,
Bits of
passed
sick.
out, covered in sick.
I remember you in character.
Yeah, by this point you probably just get the smell.
Is it like a shower sort of thing?
No,
No, is it just that-
it's
okay.
taps.
Okay, then
Find a basin. Fill
Yeah.
it up.
that's the plan. I'm gonna find like a
Hey
basin or
Carson,
something.
you are now
There
taking
is
part
one,
part of the
yeah.
ice bucket
Get it
challenge.
full of water. Cold.
She beats me with the bucket.
She is
Ice
Okay.
cold.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This is the ice bucket challenge.
As I just go.
Oh.
Yeah, freezing cold water has just been dumped straight across your head. A big basin full of it.
Fuck. Alright.
Come on!
Yes! No!
Wakey, wakey, sweet cheeks.
No!
Come on. Get some food in you.
No!
Yes.
Water.
As I
Need
refill
water.
up the basin.
No!
Want some more?
I'm getting up as I basically clamber out of the bathtub and pretty much fall to the floor.
Okay, so I've got
And do
the
the dinosaur.
Carson torture continued. Waterboarding happens.
Right.
So yeah, so you fall
I
out
put the
and sort of
basin
splats
next
on the
to
ground.
you.
Hello.
Clean your pants as I leave. See you at breakfast.
Sort of.
As I head to breakfast.
I'm just imagine Carson going, who shat in my pants?
So
Oh, wait.
you're there soaked. Most of the sick's been physically dumped off you by the water. Your trousers are still
So
a
you're in
little
a little sticky
bit,
water.
caked.
Oh, no, he's out of the bath now.
Yeah, I'm on the floor.
You sort
So
of
now you're covered in shame.
He's been covered in that for his
so you've fallen out of the bath and you're sort of curled up, wondering what the fuck went wrong with life.
Yeah, speaking, strange enough, you're having thought about plans, and not going according to plan. Last night did definitely not go according to plan for me.
So there is a basin of water next to you that she's left, and she's told you to clean your pants.
Yeah, I'm, because I'm wet, I'm cold, I'm also probably like hot, for the sun reeking in and just headache. I'm just like, there's no way I can sleep now.
Nope.
Nope, no way in hell.
No,
That's the point.
she's fucked that plan right out the window with the basins of water that she dumped over your head.
So I'm gonna muster the strength to be able to get up, and start trying to, clean myself up a bit. It's not going to be perfect, but
Yeah, so physically actually cleaning yourself off is not that hard. You get it all off.
Sweet Cheeks is the name
you
I have for
use a
people
little
who
bit
can't
of
handle
soap,
their
you
liquor.
It's nothing in your hair.
Yeah, so everyone who can't drink
trousers are still a bit mank.
Sweet Cheeks.
Sweet cheeks.
They're really bad. Cupcake.
so I'm gonna,
Yeah,
not
if they're
10,
really bad,
10 off, but
cupcake.
just get them off.
Oh no, you've taken them off by this point.
And then just.
I'm not using Buttercup. Cause
Do I see like
not.
like a
No.
wash basket?
Oh,
Definitely
okay.
not.
There's
Definitely
a laundry
not.
basket.
Buttercup's fine then.
The Buttercup is the next
Is
day.
there is there a clean laundry in a separate basket, or is there
The laundry basket's there. There's nothing in the laundry basket on the side.
Except
on
you're doing
the
it.
side top, like a cupboard side. Your clothes that were washed are sat there, folded, clean, dry.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so obviously I put it in the the two wash, but laundry basket.
Okay.
Just dump them in there and look around for my bag.
Yeah, you find it without too much hassle.
Ah, so she, I'm just like, oh, she did move my bag. I'm gonna root around in there, for another pair of trousers, because I would have had like some, the smart ones, which I obviously took off.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have them,
Yeah,
and then just put, my other clean clothes on. Other clean clothes on, because I don't want to look smart. I just want to look, as casual as I can. So I'm gonna have smart trousers, with casual, casual shirt and stuff like that.
Okay, so that probably takes you about 15 minutes, or all-encompassing, to get all that sort of sorted. And I take, do you head straight down?
Yeah, I'm just gonna head. I'm not obviously not going fast at all. I'm just
it takes you another 15 minutes to get there. Easy, because you're fucked. After you've left him, do you go straight down for breakfast at that point?
Yeah,
Or-
I'm already got all my shit together. I'm not wearing my armour because, breakfast.
So you probably get down to the breakfast hall about 8:10,
Cool.
and it's probably about 8:30 by the time you get there. And so you get there first.
I wander up.
Hoff, you've gone back down?
Yeah, I've gone back down, yeah.
Gone
And
back
I'll say,
down,
no, I don't think, I don't think Carson's going to be with us too quick. Cassandra's on her way. Yeah, it sounds like they had quite a night last night. I wish they'd invited me.
What kind of night did they have? I will look up from my book to answer you that question.
No, by the sounds of it,
Look it up from your
by the
book.
sounds of it, lots of drinking.
But that's what they wanted to accomplish, yes?
Oh, it is, but it seems they got more than they bargained for.
What did they bring back with them?
Shame.
Well,
Shame.
by the sounds of it, quite a hangover.
That sounds like the conclusion of drinking. Surely that's what they wanted to accomplish.
Well, you have to ask them.
I will.
So it's not long
Better,
after you
better,
got
to,
that.
better to hear it from the horse's
This is
mouth.
probably about the time
Yeah.
again.
I
I
wander
have
in.
never met a talking horse.
Morning. Is there coffee?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hoff says
No,
you found a
lots of
talking
things.
horse.
There is actually coffee.
No.
Oh. Then I misunderstood what you meant. I'm sorry, Hoff.
Coffee.
So, what are our plans today? The lords wish to speak to us, and then they'll have us do things. But what things?
They said that they were doing some training with us, or further education into some of the things they thought would be useful for us.
What she said.
I think that would be incredibly interesting, considering the scene history they have here. There's so many things to find out, so many places.
Awesome. Carson will be down soon. I made sure of it.
Bit under the weather, is he?
He's a snowflake.
Oh,
How can one be a snowflake?
it means one that melts easily.
Okay, I think I have hang on. Pull out a small green book and go on snowflake.
He can't handle his liquor.
Snowflake means
I
can't
wouldn't recommend
handle
calling
liquor.
too many people a
I'm not very
snowflake,
good
because that's
with
how you end up
slang,
with an
but I thought I'd
avalanche.
write them down.
Yeah, so right.
Oh yeah,
He couldn't handle
from the horse.
11 gallons of ale.
That's quite
No,
a
I
chunk
think that's
of ale.
more than I can fit in me. I cannot think of such an amount.
Yours?
Well,
No, I think the question should be reversed there, man.
well, I mean, no offense, but you're a lot bigger than me.
That's true. I'd probably say you could handle
Do
maybe
you
about 5.
participate in alcohol?
Under the night, maybe
Yes,
we'll
but
see.
not quite
Let's
to
try
that
it.
extent.
What's the normal amount of
Test you.
somebody to drink?
I'd say
Yeah.
about 3-4 gallons, if I'm really going at it.
In what time frame?
I'd say about...
I'm
6
actually
to 8
doing
hours.
that in
Big
character.
We realize how
Okay.
big a gallon
I
is.
put down my
Yeah.
green book. I
I
pull
suppose
out
it's
a
like,
red
it's
book
like
and
2%.
write that down.
Sort of
Right, as you're
typical
saying that, you can hear me go.
medieval type ale.
But it's still a lot
Are
of
you
fluid to get
defined
through.
as a...
5.
Wait,
4 or 5. Is that it?
hang on.
That's not the most I can drink, it's the most I want to drink.
I asked what the average amount of a normal person is to drink.
Oh,
Does that make you an alcoholic?
yeah.
No,
Yes.
if you want to see
I drink
some,
about 22.
So that means that should you not drink enough, that you may start having health issues.
So, for the sake of argument, so this is about the time you sort of.
Get a bit angsty when I drink.
Oh yeah, you hear the shuffling.
well, if you want to,
I
if you
need
want,
to ask your permission. If we're going to be spending time together,
Everybody is
I
talking.
am off on a
far too
researching
loud.
request
Yeah,
to
just-
find new things
It's like,
for my little
Right.
shut
So
your
my
mouth,
things
please.
to
all your wisdom,
Okay,
intelligence, and
sorry,
charisma
didn't hear that
checks.
Oh yeah, they're going to be
Some
through
of
the
the
floor
things that
right
we
now.
do,
Can you please?
I'd like to write about.
You might get disadvantage if you try.
So
If you want to see someone who can put it away, you should see halflings put it
Sorry,
away.
hang on. Too many conversations. You were saying, sorry, love. Couldn't
Yes.
hear you.
I have written one book. I am writing another. To
Okay.
do that, I'm writing down everything that I've researched.
Right.
So,
So you want me to tell you everything that happened, so you can write
Stop
it down
this.
for your book.
I just want your permission to write about you.
Oh, go ahead.
See if
I
you
don't
can-
mind.
I'm going to
Stop
find
this.
like
I'm sure
a jug of
Carson won't
water on
mind.
the table.
Hoff, do you mind if
Bring
you
it
write about
closer
us
to
in a
me.
book?
Start drinking.
I've always wanted to be in
Start
If you-
drinking.
if
Put
you-
it down.
No,
Hand over
if
ears.
you want to see someone who can put it
Head on
away,
desk.
halflings can put it away.
Perfect.
Oh, don't be fooled by their size. They have big appetites. My friend of mine. I had a friend.
Yeah.
I had a friend.
There's no way in hell a human can do that.
That's obscene.
Not a real
I'm-
human.
I'm
This is
not
D&D.
And I'm not human.
Yeah, no, that's put my suspicions right the fuck up.
Okay, I'm not really understanding. Can I roll medicine? Because I'm basically making notes about like the human body and
You
stuff.
certainly
Because
can.
I didn't understand, which is why I was asking.
That's why I
questions.
put it into the converter.
My friend.
9 because I don't have a very high medicine.
Okay, so what is it you're...
Basically, I'm asking what the average is for a person to consume, and I've got like a couple of gallons. But I don't know drinking in gallons, I know it in litres, because that is the normal.
Hence why I did that.
Yeah, so the rough conversion isn't too hard. You've done enough basic maths and things to know what the rough conversion is there, so that's fine.
I just basically want to know if that's physically, like, should she be in this state? Shouldn't she
Oh,
be
you
sick?
think she should be clinically fucking dead?
I also think she should be clinically
But
fucking
even
dead.
then, she said, I'm an alcoholic, so I said, is that, like, so that does that mean that her body's grown a tolerance, or is that something that I think is not normal?
No, I should still be dead.
Should
Probably
still be
not
very
normal,
fucked.
to be
Well,
quite
yeah,
honest.
even for an alcoholic, for a human,
Okay.
you probably think
Right.
that's still a
Okay.
bit much.
Still
So
excessive.
this is gonna.
So you're walking in, you're saying?
Oh no, I've already walked in.
While
I
you
told
guys have
everyone to
been
shut
chatting,
up.
So I crawled in, told everyone to shut up, drank some water and shoved his head on the desk.
Yeah, I shove my head at the desk, hands over my ears, just going.
Drink it!
Yeah, that's like someone just jammed you in the ear with a knife.
Drink it!
So, duty free of those and a Remainer.
Yeah. Bear in mind,
Yeah, so as I pour the drink, you're poking my arm, and I'm like,
bear in mind,
I pulled like a litre thing, right, and then I'm doing like a
on
series of
this,
formula in front of me.
Anywhere from half to 2%.
You don't feel warm.
Oh no, I know, but again, this is your typical D&D thing where
Yeah, she probably spilled,
She's-
she probably
I
spilled
don't
most of it down the front of her.
what?
A normal
There's probably a little
human
bit
being
spilled,
cannot
but-
consume this level of liquid.
Ah, but I'm not a normal human being, am I?
What are you?
No, she has those doodads that come out of her head. Oh no, she got the winglings.
Ah, no one's
aren't-
seen
Oh,
them
no one's
yet.
seen them yet.
Before my notes, because I don't understand. How can I write about you if I don't understand?
I'm not human.
What are you? Do we have to guess?
She's a demon.
I love that we were leaned in.
Is she a
I'm not.
You're half elf. I've seen half
No,
elves around.
I'm
They
not
look,
a half
they can look
elf.
different.
You look far pretty to be a half elf. No offense, half elves.
I'm gonna have a look around.
Well, you're too tall for a halfling,
there's
that's for
a few
sure.
of the council hounds who
Is
have
anyone
come down
paying
later to eat.
attention?
They're sort of a little bit perturbed by how whingy he is.
Oh yeah,
You don't think they've really had that many people that wasted at
Nice
the
stuff
table.
around you.
Excuse me, says one of the staff. Fred here's a bit worse for wear. Have you got anything that can settle him?
kill me.
Have you got an alchemist in town?
You may want to put some
There's
sword arts in his room
probably
as
someone
well.
in town, but I don't think we've got anyone to hand. We
Cool.
don't usually have issues such as this.
Yeah, he can't handle his liquor.
But I think you should allow it that happen though. Surely he should suffer the consequences of his actions.
No, he's currently suffering the consequences of my actions. I thought he'd do better.
But he chose to do it, so it says by his own choice. You didn't pressure him into it.
Yeah, I guess.
Therefore, he should suffer the consequences of his actions. He's an adult.
If he's gonna suffer it, I pick up my goblet.
Oh, bitch.
So
See, that's a hangover.
yeah, I understood that.
Yeah. So he currently feels like is it a sledgehammer at this point? A
Yes.
gavel? What?
All
How
of
does it feel?
All of the above.
Right. Is
Hang on.
pounding his head.
Hang on, I have a series of questions I'm going to ask him in a moment, but I'd like you to
No,
ask the other questions
no
first.
more
Or can you write
questions.
it down and tell me?
No.
As I squiggle.
Oh yeah, sorry, get in the character.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna forward a little bit past some more of the drunk teasing, him being tormented a bit, you eat a little bit. It actually gets to about 9 o'clock, and the lords and Lord Talbrook will come in pretty much at this point at the same time. So Lord Talbrook, Lord Fgrave,
I'll stand for them.
Lord
On my
Breakfast, Lady Gemini, and Avelia all come in. None of the castle hounds sort of stand up or anything, and Lord Talbrook sort of says to you, please, that's really not necessary. It's only breakfast. It's not a big fancy meal or anything.
Oh, good.
Sort of takes a look at you and
Excuse
shakes his head.
excuse our friend.
Horribly hungover.
Yes.
He was enjoying some of your city's fine establishments last night.
Godtat walks over and just slaps you on the back. Good man!
Yeah. So, what was it? 11?
Was that how much I drank?
Yeah, 11 gallons. Gonna have to double that to catch up to me.
No wonder I'm dead.
Nah, seriously, how much did he drink?
11 gallons.
No, he should be dead. How much did he drink?
11 gallons.
Really?
I think he probably spilled most
I
of it.
don't know. I remember the first 2, and that's about it.
He needs to double that to catch up to me, though.
Right, okay. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, you do whatever you feel. I'll just stick to my normal amounts. I'm going to go and get some food. Lord F-Grave happily sits down in his place and just starts getting his food together. Lord Torbrook sits at his end, sort of chuckling a little bit at Gartak's enthusiasm. Lady Gemini again sits down, starts eating. Avelia sort of wanders around the table a little bit, not actually eating yet.
Coffee.
I'm
As I
gonna
pour
drink.
you more coffee.
I'm gonna drink my tea, continue reading my book, and occasionally look that way, and then continue reading my book, but I don't say much. Wait.
Okay, so it doesn't look
I
like.
reach up into my hat and produce my my pipe and tobacco pouch?
Magic.
No pockets.
So this morning it doesn't look like Lord F-Grave is actually having to put any effort into not breaking plates. He seems to be quite happily just eating with no effort.
He's calmed.
Yeah,
His
Norman.
adrenaline's calmed down since last
Yeah,
night.
that'd be your best guess. And he
Yeah.
seems to just be quite happily and fairly, on show this morning. So he's eating politely.
Yeah, as they've walked in, I've gone from my usual eating habit to my ladylike eating habit. Yeah. Like, as I have half, a chicken leg in my mouth, I'm like,
You eat different when we were outside. What?
I don't understand.
civilized company.
No, you see. No, don't be ashamed. Sir, same when I used to work.
Pull that
You
right
act
back.
one way when you're on the road, you act another way when you're in the town.
Yeah, like Gartak is quite happily there, just finger picking up sausages.
Finger licking good.
Finger banging sausages.
He's still got his fucking iron plate, but he's quite happily just picking shit up with his hands and just eating.
Well, for
Well,
me,
you can't have mine
if
from
I
close
ate
enough.
the way I did in front of my family at home, I'd get a smack from my mother. So, no.
My lord.
So who's this to?
Torbrook. Lord
Lord
Torbrook.
Torbrook. Okay, so he sort of. Yes, sorry.
I don't want to interrupt your breakfast, so please continue eating. I just want to ask a quick question.
Oh no, please go ahead.
We were really interested in what kind of training or other examples of things we would be doing this morning. Could you give us an idea, please?
I myself probably couldn't. One of the other lords would probably be able to go into a bit more detail, depending on obviously whatever it is that they think would help. I myself probably won't be actually involved in that at all. I'll probably be going about my day-to-day duties.
Would you be free at some point? I'd be very interested to know more about the history of Obsidia.
In that regard, you'd probably be best speaking to.
I turned the book around that I'm currently reading. I've been reading this one, and this is incredibly interesting.
That will have most of what I imagine you'd be looking for. There are a couple of historians you might be able to find in the city who might have a little more information, but that particular tome was written by most of our local historians.
Oh.
So much and more of what they might know is probably in there.
Okay.
But again, we can sort of have one of the guards escort you to where you might find the historians if you're interested in speaking to them in person.
Yes, I am. Thank you, my lord. Yes.
Of course, not a problem. So is anyone else doing anything pressing at breakfast? Or?
Eating. Making him drink lots of coffee.
Surviving is my main task at the moment.
by about sort of 9:30, it's gotten to the point where it's just a dull thudding. it's like not every sound is crushing your brain in pain.
It's a bit more tolerable at this point.
Yeah. Every now and then, Gartak, who's actually sat the other side of you, just gives you a hefty slap on the back.
I mean, if
You know he's fucking with you at this point.
I mean, if they have a garden here, maybe I can buy you some herbs to sort that out. Though I'm not much of a... someone else will have to mix them up for me.
I can have a look.
Yes, I don't know, maybe there are some herbs I know that help with this sort of thing. But
So once all the lords have finished, Lord Torbrook sort of stands up, takes his leave, and heads off. This time, a couple of the guards actually come in to meet him and go off with him, based on the fact that the other lords are staying behind. So Lady Gemini pipes up a little bit, and Swifty, so you do appear to cast sorcerous magics. If you'd like, I can potentially help you with a little bit of learning in some of the spells you'd be interested in.
Yes, please.
I say, myself being of a sorceress origin, I feel I may be able to help you in that regard. If anyone else is interested in any magic or magical theory, then again, I should be able to help as best I can.
I'm not too skilled, but I could do with some pointers, yes. I'd be I'm most thankful for that.
You seem to be of a more natural inclination for your magic. Well, I can certainly help you understand some of the theories behind that. Obviously, if you're willing to come along and learn and practice a little. So she sort of finishes up any food and puts sort of things down, and when she's sort of ready, she sort of stands up as if you'd like to come along.
I would also like to know who is going to be training the other people and what they're training them in. Because we're making notes of everything as a group. Please.
She's writing a book and she wants to document everything.
Based on the fluid nature of the learning, it might be best to do that retroactively. It might be best to come back and ask once they've done some of the
I'll tell
training.
you this evening.
Okay.
And that way they'd be able to recount what's happened rather than try to guess and give suggestions as to what might happen.
But my book.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So I do understand the desire to catalogue, but it's generally easier to record events after the fact than before in a predictive manner.
Okay. I cancel the spell that's on my book. I hold my book.
Yeah. So she says, "Well, if you'd like to come with me," and then heads off.
Okay.
So essentially, she takes you past the library and picks up a couple of books that have a little bit of magical theory of a couple of different kinds. And she takes you to a large, fairly open, spacious room. Looks like it might once have been another dining room, but has been almost repurposed. And essentially, she just starts going through a lot of magical theory and application, practical and otherwise, and sort of helps go through things and facilitates the various types of learning towards the magics that you were using. For yourself, you've had the book already.
Yep.
What are you planning to do?
Half I could do with your hand with something.
Yeah, sure. What do you need?
Wait, didn't you
You
go
go
off
with
for
me.
training?
So that's why I'm going to check with you. Would you have gone off for the magical training?
I
or
want
would you...
to hear everything first that's available.
Okay, so that's fine. So obviously he's about to ask before you go off, or potentially go off.
When you got a moment free, I was wondering if you could help me with trying to craft a gun.
Well, such a thing might be on my skill. I mean, I did not make my crossbow.
But I've seen you tinker around with it, so you got a borderline understanding at least.
I tinker with mechanical mechanisms. That might be able to help you. I mean, and I do maintain the trigger mechanism on my crossbow. Maybe I could help you.
But I think the trigger is going to be a very important part of it.
Well, yes. I mean, it looks like they have craftsmen here. They can help craft the parts we need, and I can help you put them together.
I love how his chest puffed up as he was bragging about his tinkering. Be mighty appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then obviously to you two. So Lord Fgrave turns to you and says, "So for yourselves in particular, you both seem to be of a combat-oriented nature. You seem to have some degree of unarmed ability, which Lord Gartak. Stop with the Lord, bastard. Yes, well, Gartak has a fair degree of expertise in, and we imagine you two would be best served training along with us. Again, we'll probably figure out the particulars once we've had a chance to see where you're looking at training or what it is you're trying to accomplish with your training. But it'll be potentially dependent. Obviously, your Zach is welcome to join us as well if he feels he'd like a bit more training in this type of combat. But you seem to have your ideas into crafting weaponry of your own. So you may have different ideas in mind.
I do appreciate the offer, but this is something I've been hankering for since I was a young boy.
I don't mind helping my friend here.
Okay. I dare say Gartak hasn't finished eating. Yeah, wait another 5 minutes. He's still just shoveling shit into his face. So, are you at that point? Are you going to go with Lady Gemini and
Yes.
Karen?
And I will help him later.
Help him later. Cool. So yeah, so you go off with her. You guys go off to do some magical stuff. With you.
Yep.
At this point, so you currently don't have materials or your sort of tools and things to do this with.
Yep.
So, what are you going to do then?
So, for the tools part, I'm going to approach Lady
Gemini before she leaves, I take it. Okay.
Lady Gemini, can I take a moment of your time?
Yes, I shouldn't need to be right now the second. Yeah.
I was wondering if you had some spare old tools kicking around. Don't need to be your finest or anything, just something that you're not likely to use.
Not on me right now.
Oh, of course not now, but I was just saying around.
What I will do is I will gather some of them up afterwards, and I will have one of the hands deliver it to your room, if that's okay.
Much appreciated.
Okay. I'll endeavour to get on that once I have a moment to spare.
No rush.
I'm excited for magic. Magic.
Magic.
Yeah, if there's nothing else for the time being, though, I will.
I wouldn't dare intrude any more of your time.
No, of course I'll take your eager friend to go and do some more magic, I guess.
Have fun.
Okay.
Okay. So.
This is how I get my spells leveling up.
But yeah, so it's essentially it's obviously practice to the spells that you're taking as you level up and such. We probably won't go over the finer points of the training because it's you learning your spells at this point.
Yes.
Hoff again gets a little bit of practice into an additional spell into his list. A little bit of practice with the existing ones he's got. So with you two, after a few more minutes of Gartak shoveling food quite happily.
You drinking another coffee?
Oh yeah, no, I've been trying to eat something, but it's hard to keep down. So I'm like, I've eaten bits. I mean, you're drinking.
Don't worry, it's good for you.
By the way,
That
I
is.
can imagine Cassus being like this to you if Merlan was hungover.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Real life aspects in game. Oh my god!
What's that? You're hungover. It's time for me to practice with my drum kit.
What's that? RPG taking life?
But yeah, so once Gartak's happy finish and Lysander sort of happily cleaned his hands off a little bit. So, right, well, if you would like to come with us, stop with the formalities. Go out to the courtyard.
I'll go get my armour on.
Yeah, you won't need that. No, you won't need that. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, as ready as I'll ever be.
And I say again, so they take you outside, and for want of a better word, they spar with you guys. Much like Macare getting to practice and weave new magics, try new things. They basically spend the majority of the day functionally beating you up and letting you beat them up.
Cool.
Try things, get used to different techniques, maneuvers, and it sort of tailors towards, again, whatever it is that you're specifically wanting training in. Again, sort of, Lysander sort of helps a bit more with the finer points of the greatsword with you. Gartag punches you really hard.
Shows you how to better focus yourself to punch him harder.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. In some cases, he shows you techniques for punching quicker. But yeah,
The
it
furry
just
of
goes
nose.
functional. It just sort of goes through that a little bit. So again, we won't go too far into the elaboration of that because it's not something we need to necessarily go through.
Oh yeah.
Immediate of all the leveling up. But Zach.
Yep.
So with you,
Yep.
you have been promised some tools.
Yep.
But you still have no material.
Yep. So I will head over to the market.
Okay, so are you trying to leave via a particular door? Is there a particular way you're going? Is there anyone you're asking for any help beforehand?
Yeah, I'll ask a few people around, see where they generally recommend going.
Okay, so a couple of the castle hands are a little bit unsure, but they direct you to one of the guard stations. Just saying, some of the guards around have done a bit of practice with crafting their own weapons. They might know some good places for material. So you head off to the guard station that they sort of direct you to, and you find one of the guards.
I'll probably look for the oldest guy there because you always beware of the oldest guy in a profession where they typically die young.
Okay. That's a reasonable way of thinking about it. So
It's like, you must be good. You're still alive.
Exactly.
Shit, you ain't dead.
So when you get there, you find a half-orc guard named Leth.
Left.
More? No, left.
Greetings, my lord. How can I help?
No need to call me that, my friend. I hear that you are the old guard around here. Unintended.
To be honest, there's a couple of us old guards around here. Nothing interesting ever happens.
Well, from what I understand, you managed to craft yourself a pretty nice weapon.
Oh, I definitely wouldn't say nice. I'd probably say functional. About it, really. He sort of pulls out a sword and hands it over to you. Again, craftsmanship isn't exactly grand. It works and kind of does its job. It cuts stuff.
Well, I mean, it's not dull, and for balance is certainly around.
So
you're doing
for your typical sort of thing, so when you see a lot of orc weapons in a lot of fantasy, they tend to be a bit crude and thrown together.
Maces,
With
the
this
length of their
one,
enemies.
so dwarven craftsmanship in this setting is still what you'd see as dwarven craftsmanship.
Yep.
Now imagine that.
Yep.
With a more orc flair to the design.
Okay.
It's probably about as good as any dwarven craft, if not better.
Bit more utilitarian.
Yeah, but it's got more of
More
a
industrial
tribal
design.
more of a tribal design than an industrial. But it's nice, but it's no nicer than any other orc weapons you've seen. But it's one of those things where you can clearly see the orc heritage in its make.
You've definitely got the feel of your tribe down, that's for sure.
It's just what they teach us. So what? It takes all back and cheese it. So what brings you asking about my weapons then?
Well, you see, I'm looking to craft something for myself, and with age comes wisdom, and I thought you might know where would be the best place to try and get some materials.
Oh, hang on a minute. So he pulls out a little pocketbook. Interestingly enough for a dwarf orc, you wouldn't necessarily imagine that.
Alright, let's take up wrong book.
Right.
This is my killing list.
And this is my unsafe for TV to say list.
Right, you're gonna want to go and
Ladies
see. Takes out a pair of glasses, puts them on. You're gonna want to go and see Magus.
Magus.
He's a bit of a crotchety old dwarf.
I imagine with a name like that.
Yeah, don't ask. So you're gonna want to go see Magus. What's his last name? Ironborn. Magus Ironborn.
Good name for a crafter.
Yeah, you'll find him. You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna take a break. Okay. Sure. Right. Left. I guess we'll see you shortly. Yes, I'm taking him down to find some material. Don't worry. So he takes off his helmet and he takes off the biggest part of his armour, almost show he's not currently on duty. He says, "Alright, come with me, I'll show you where it is." It's not easy explaining all the city streets to new people. I'll just show you. So he takes you on a walk that probably takes about half an hour. Down a couple of the alleys and then a side alley. And it comes to what looks like a forge. And there's a dwarf of fairly stocky dwarf there, hammering away at a weapon. And Leth sort of steps up and kicks aside the anvil and goes, "Oi, Magus!" This dwarf sort of looks up, big set of goggles in his eyes. "Oi, Leth, how can I help you?" Leth's like, "Well, it's not me, if I'm going to be honest, it's this fellow, he's new." "How can I help you then?"
Now, our friend Leth here says you're quite a resourceful man when it comes to getting materials for weaponry.
"Oh, I've got some."
Well, I've been looking for bees. I had over a list of the components I need.
Okay, so here's that. You do know you make most of this yourself with the materials, right?
I know.
I've got the materials, I don't have the components. You do that.
I know. I'm looking for the materials so I can make them.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes to get it all. So he takes the goggles completely off, puts them down next to the hammer that he's put down. Takes off his big forge gloves, sets them down. Right. Steps off to the side. Starts rummaging through a fair pile of different ingots and things. Goes, nah. Sort of scratches his beard. Some of the soot falls off his hand into the beard. Hang on. And he goes back round behind another one of the anvils that are off to the side. Goes, here's the bastard. Pulls it out. Sticks a couple of ingots on, a couple of other bits of materials, a few sheets of metal and things, and goes, "Right, where's that list?" Right, so that's 25 gold for all that.
There you go. I also throw in a couple of silver. So have a drink on me.
I'll be certain to do that. So that's enough for one gun.
Yep.
Are you just doing the one, or are you wanting to get?
Now.
Okay, that's fine.
Tempting it on the first one. Perfecting it on the first.
Yeah.
Not just going to try for 2 guns, huh?
No, don't put all your eggs in one basket because the foxes run the fucking corner.
Sure. So
and then I'll hand Leif a couple of silver as well. Thanks for the tip.
No worries. I appreciate that. I'll walk back with you. Funnily enough, I've got to get back anyway. So he carries a few bits for you just to make it a bit easier. Gets you back to the castle, and you get back in with your materials.
Yep.
And you go up and you start sort of getting everything prepared, ready. After a little while, the tools are delivered. So now you've got Tinker's tools, which is obviously part of your level up.
Yep.
So you get your Tinker's tools, and yeah. At this point, you have the materials, but I imagine you're going to want to wait a little bit. So the day goes largely by. You two end up with a fair few bruises. After a few more coffees throughout the day, you largely feel okay. You've just got a dull ache.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
You're pretty much fine by the afternoon. Again, other than a few more bruises and a few more aches and the odd sort of after a day of having the shit beaten out of you functionally.
So the general wear and tear of working then.
Basically. I say you guys have done some of your various magics. You've weaved a few new things. You've learnt a couple of spells.
I can be invisible.
You have some wibble.
Yeah, I can learn to be invisible.
So obviously throughout the day you guys stop, but rather than going off for lunch, the castle hands have brought the food to you. You presume at the request of whoever you've been doing your work with. At the odd random point here or there, Avelia sort of turned up, had a nose and wandered off, largely ignoring anyone actually talking to her.
Right, if she looks over, I'm just like,
Again, she sort of largely ignores like the fact that you waved at her. Gartak, she's like, Avelia! And she sort of ignores him as well and just wanders off. And again, same with you guys. You know, you're playing the magic. She wanders past at some point during the day. Has a look, has a nose in. You know, leans clear over to look at the book that Sire has out and is sort of reading from and helping with theories, and then wanders off again.
Lady Gemini.
Yes. Is this during training or is this
Yes,
after?
this is during
During
well,
training.
after as Avelia turns up, because it's a point I wanted to ask about. When we first met Avelia, she gave us Twisted Through with Words of Fate. Has her predictions become true? Does she have the ability of true sight? Or is it something of an oddity for her to do such predictions?
She does such things quite rarely, but when she does, it's less of a prophecy and more of an insight. She has a strange ability almost to read people and almost their fate, but I don't know if I'd call it a prophecy as such. Never really thought too much about it. It just sort of happens, and most of it's fairly on the ball.
But she seems to be unaware of her surroundings.
Oh, she's completely aware. She just may not feel the need to pay attention.
She looks quite human, but also not. Is that quite normal for around here? I know, like myself,
it's normal for her.
I don't understand what you mean.
It's not something that's that easy to understand, if I'm to be honest. I imagine you will learn more about her later. She's not the type to just hand you information about herself. In fact, she rarely hands her information about herself to anyone, if I'm to be honest.
Have you known her for a long time?
She sort of gives almost a curiously wry smile and says, I've known her for some time.
Okay. I guess I will find out more information later.
I suppose it depends on how much she feels like sharing.
Okay.
What can I say? It's not my place.
Alright.
so all I'm thinking is, alrighty there.
She's a unique cookie, that one.
This sounds like some crypticness.
I'm guessing as we're fighting, that's when that happens.
At some point, you sort of take a fairly hefty hit,
Yeah.
and you almost manifest it without meaning to, but at the same time knowing that you can.
Yeah, because it's new, because of level up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we're fighting black wings, well, not wings, but
They're like ethereal black and kind of skeletal.
yeah, wings pop out of my my shoulder blades.
And like her eyes, nose and mouth almost glow with an absence of light. It's not darkness per se, it is more like the absence of light.
Roll me a charisma save.
Yeah.
Do it.
What?
Do it. Do it.
It's one of my lowest
Fail.
ones.
Fail.
Oh, okay, I rolled pretty well. 17.
Oh,
Hang on.
boo, how dare you roll well.
I rolled consistently
Yeah,
badly.
You're fine.
Yeah,
Boo.
roll badly.
It's unnerving, but
Yeah, it's
nothing
like,
else comes of it.
damn.
Because it's a tiny loo for me. I'm like, what
Oh, wait.
the fuck?
What are those?
What are those?
Yeah, what are those? Oh, still too
I
loud.
don't know.
Yeah, it is still too loud. It's fine. But yeah, so you go about your days and largely all that happens. It comes sort of evening meal time. after gathering your materials, you've largely not done a lot other than sort of read into a few of the finer points of crafting the bits you need. But it gets to sort of evening meal time. You head down to when they go, and everyone sort of comes back at the same time. All of them look fairly tired. Like all of these 4 look quite tired.
Seems like everyone had a pretty active day.
These 2 are fairly bruised. He has a black eye.
I push a coffee toward you.
Thank you, my dear.
I look at my book and a pen and I'm staring at you.
Alright.
I pushed the coffee to you first.
Yeah. I said I'd explain. So we were
Largely,
training.
largely
sparring.
you can sort of fill out the particulars. but-
Black skeletal wings grew out of my back.
As they do.
Can you make them appear again?
Not today, no.
Is it per,
It's a once per day
Is
thing.
it per long rest? Yeah.
Yeah,
long
one
rest.
per
yeah.
long rest.
Yeah, no,
Can
you
you
have to
show
sleep.
me tomorrow?
Sure.
Yay! Did anyone else see them? What did they look like? Did it feel weird? Did your shoulders hurt?
No, they don't hurt. It's
So
How's
Garsak
it
and
somewhere?
Lysander were both there as well, but they've sort of stepped off and they said they'd be along to dinner very shortly.
Yes, they were a
you
bit.
saw them?
They were a bit unnerving.
You sound really comprehensible. Are you feeling more better? More
Mostly.
inebriated? Less inebriated?
Nah, less hungover. Now it's a bit more of a headache.
yeah.
Gartak giving you the black eye didn't help.
No.
Black, ethereal. Didn't hurt. Just there.
There was something up with your face as well.
That's not very nice to say to a lady.
Oh no! At the time, there was something with the face. I don't know. Weird, black, sort of essence. I don't know how to describe
Hang
it.
on.
To be honest, I was almost trying not to look at it. It was a bit strange.
Oh, thanks.
Well, no, your face is fine
I
now.
tried not to look at you as you were covered in your own vomit last night.
Why can't I explain myself properly?
Because you're Merlan.
You are quite an obtuse person sometimes.
Well, I try and say things how they are. It's the best way to be.
Do you think he knows what obtuse means?
I don't know. You
Do you
use
know
a
what it
great
means?
number of words to not really say anything.
She's calling you dumb. Just translate that for you.
You do look quite flummoxed.
I'm gonna go get a drink.
Non-alcoholic.
I'm not touching alcohol for a while.
I had to get my sheet for that bit. Okay.
Maybe next time I might pick someone who can't drink me under the table.
Good luck. Any of these probably could.
The Lord's come in yet.
Shit.
Probably after about sort of 10 minutes of you guys chatting. So Lady Gemini's been there with you guys. She basically came with you guys to food. After about
God,
sort of
what
10
did
minutes.
she say? How did she react to the, wing conversation?
She didn't seem to react particularly. She it's almost like it was something either that didn't surprise her or she would have expected maybe. But based on the fact that you can see that she's an Azamar and she doesn't even remotely hide it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was asking, because I'm the fallen version of her. I'm the more likely to kill someone.
Because you fell down.
But yeah, so after about 10 minutes, Garsak and Lysander come in. They've gotten themselves changed from their fighting gear as well as whatever else they might have done. They come in, sit up and start piling food on their plates. Lysander actually seems a little bit less formal than normal. He's just piling food. Just
Yeah, as I've noticed, everyone else is more relaxed about it. I'm going to be more relaxed with the way I eat.
Has Lord Talbot come in as well? Was it just the other
No.
one? He's not come back yet. Okay.
Oh.
It's not the one I fancy. It's okay.
Yeah, it's F-Grave.
As I'm doing stuff, calling him Lysander, wasn't I? It wouldn't have been.
Yeah. So
Lord.
when it came to training, and like you guys would have had the awkward start of Lord Grave, just Lysander's fine. And then Gartak would be, that's the fucking spirit. And it's sort of got to the point where throughout the day it's become a bit easier just to call them Lysander and Gartak. And you sort of drop the Lord after a few smacks to the face.
Yeah.
Nearly being cut in half with a greatsword tends to drop Lord off of titles.
Seems fair.
Lysander, could I have a word with you later after football, obviously?
Yes, I don't see why not. Yes, wouldn't be a problem.
Thank you. I was waiting for the death glare from over here, but nothing happened.
I shall remember.
Lucy will remember this.
No, just turn invisible. Stalk.
Don't give.
Oh, I just gave her ideas. Oh no.
I literally just told you not to do that.
My lady.
To Lady
Gemini.
Gemini. Yes.
I apologise for interrupting your meal, but is Lord Talbrook not joining us?
No, he wouldn't be at every meal that would be here. Sometimes he will either be away or he'll eat while he's doing some of his other duties. There's been occasions where he's fallen asleep at his desk, bless him, because he's been just that busy all day. I couldn't necessarily say without going to find him, but this isn't anything strange.
Okay, I just wanted to check nothing had happened to him.
Oh no, this is actually quite common.
Okay.
Admittedly, it's slightly rarer to see him actually here at the table, if I'm going to be honest.
He's a dedicated man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is anyone else pushing anything at dinner or asking anything or got anything they want to?
I'm sketching out designs for because although I can't build a crossbow, I've maintained like the trigger mech and the sort of the ratchet mechanism that helps me cock it. So I'm going to start thinking of how I can incorporate this into his gun.
Okay. So with that, when are you planning on looking at doing actual attempted assembly?
Well, I reckon it's pretty late. I reckon it's pretty late in the day now, so I'll probably try it in the morning.
It's probably about 7:30, 8.
Yeah, try it in the morning.
Okay.
Gunpowder and late nights is not a good idea.
Not gunpowder yet. First, we need to. There are many stages we need to work on first.
I mean, you've got the gunpowder to put into it when you've created one, but largely in the actual creation you don't use it.
Yeah.
You'll need a good blacksmith to make you a barrel, and that will need to be tested first before we go any further.
Gotcha.
Okay, so is anyone else wanting to do anything, obviously, other than you talking with for dinner or this evening?
Well, now I'm guessing that tomorrow's going to be like the same as tomorrow. Get breakfast, do training.
Yeah, largely there'll be a lot of sort of there'll be a couple of days of basic training, easy, and just getting things and learning a few more bits as you get your class stuff. But for you wanted to talk to Lysander. So after everyone's sort of finishing up, he sort of puts down his knife and fork. Says, so you would like a discussion? Would you like to discuss here, or would you like to discuss somewhere else?
If we could go for a walk around the gardens while we talk.
I don't see why not.
Come to the Garden of Betrayal.
Oh no!
Bear with me while I just unsheath my backstabbing dagger. So he sort of he wanders actually out the main doors. Largely,
Sheepishly follow behind him because I'm not meant to go this way.
so largely the same as when you first entered and went into the throne room. One of the guards stood on the inside of the main doors, just double bangs on the door and it just opens on its own. So he steps out. The guards on the inside again all give their one-handed salutes, and they stand fully at attention like that until he's a certain distance away.
Yep.
And he sort of wanders around the side towards what does look like a small garden area. So what would you like to discuss, my lady?
I was wondering if you could teach me more about your lycanthropy. If
I-
you're willing to talk about it, of course.
Certainly can, yes.
Good to
I
buy
don't.
you.
I don't really see it as a secret per se. I mean, we don't exactly show such things to the masses. Many would generally panic, but it's not exactly a secret that I am. I suppose afflicted would be the best term for it.
I didn't want to say afflicted because you seem so happy with the way you are, and an affliction is something that is mostly viewed as negative.
Yes, but in this regard, it wasn't a choice for me to gain it in the first place. However,
You've accepted it over time.
yes, and affected doesn't seem like a strong enough word.
Yeah, so I was wondering, how you became what you are, how this happened.
The initial story isn't as interesting as it might sound, to be honest. Well, once upon a time, some years ago, when myself, Gartak, and Sire it was something of an adventuring group ourselves. The three of us and two of our companions who are no longer with us, unfortunately, we came across a werewolf pack. We fought them, and unfortunately, one of them bit me. I still don't believe there's actually a cure aside from death for the affliction. But fortunately, it's something I managed to learn to come to terms with and control. Largely in thanks to Gartak, if I'll be honest. Despite his gruff and fairly uncouth manner, he's a good man. He's a good orc.
Sorry, words.
Well,
Trying
look,
to struggle.
just one thinking. Okay, so if we've finished dinner, you guys have gone off. I'm going to see if we can find like a small sitting room and then invite the four of us to spend some time together away from everyone else
Yes.
to get to know one another since we're stuck with each other.
Well, you know about me, you can fill in for me while I'm not there.
Fill in the blanks.
Yes.
She can fill in some of the
And
other
then
blanks.
I'm not very good at casual conversation, so I have prepared a series of short questions.
Short questions.
I see.
Oh
Just what
dear.
you're thinking. I was like,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
okay. Since I should not make an assumption on anyone's race, what race are you?
Human.
What is your name?
Carson.
Carson.
Did you want my surname as well?
Is it relevant for me to know it?
Maybe.
Okay, what is it?
Reinhardt.
I've got a little red book. I'm writing all of this down as you talk. Okay. Lovely. How old are you?
What age did I give myself? Ah, forget. I just made myself a little younger. 30.
What
I
is your
believe.
marital status?
Single.
Why are you questioning that? Did you marry someone and then forget? Did you marry someone and they left? Did you marry someone and then you left?
No, I just not usually asked that way. What is your marital status?
Did you have a Vegas crossbow wedding?
Okay, let's try that again. Single.
Okay. Do you have any titles?
No.
What?
Do you
It's pronounced the way.
do you have any known curses or allergies that the group should be made aware of?
Alcohol.
Diarrhea.
I'm fine with alcohol normally.
Diarrhea AIDS.
It's like
They're
a-
not.
It's
But
like
that.
It's like space AIDS, but fantasy setting.
Apart from the common poisons and diseases, not really.
Are you a known or wanted criminal in any other city that we should go into?
Are you a crime? Well,
I have no
No.
problem if you are, but if we are going into other cities, it'd be good to know if you have bounties on your head and should we need to disguise you.
No, but let's just hope we don't run into my family.
Why?
Tell me more.
Tell me more, tell me more.
They.
Was it love at first sight?
I was about to say, who the fuck did you kill?
They may not necessarily be fully aware that I left the caravan.
Did you slink off in the middle of the night? Did you steal all the money then leave?
You have a strong feeling that they know by now.
did you do a dookie in the urinal?
Did you create a turnip version of yourself as you left?
No.
A turnip version?
I've seen it before when someone puts like a turnip and they put a smiley face and then they build a body and they make it look like they're still in bed as they leave.
That's pretty clever,
I'm sure
actually.
that can only work for like until the turnips turn, at least.
Or someone my size.
So no, I effectively gathered my things as if I was going to go out hunting and never returned.
So I probably assume you're dead.
Why?
Because my family had my life set out in a way that I was not happy with.
Were they going to make you marry someone you didn't love?
No.
Were you going to join a business that you didn't want to?
My father in particular wanted me to take up the family mantle, which was to continue to be a great trader of the Reinhardt family.
But you didn't want that?
No. And
What do you want? What do you want?
I just want to explore and experience life as it's meant to be experienced.
So you don't know yet?
No, that's simply what I want.
Okay, right. Oh, so I'm going to go to another person. So if you want to continue a conversation, I can keep going. Are you ready? Because you're going to get these questions in a minute after the episode. Right. I look forward to it.
So sort of shifts to a room full of comfortable looking chairs, a fireplace where they're discussing awkward topics. Then it shifts back to a conversation in the garden.
Of more awkward topics.
I don't find it awkward. I don't think he finds it awkward. It ain't awkward.
Yeah, this is actually far less awkward than yours.
Yeah.
Oh well.
This next bit might be slightly awkward.
Excuse me.
When the first transformation happened, how did you feel? Did it make you feel stronger?
Largely, I don't remember the transformation after the fact, but the transition into and out of the form were painful.
Right.
Mainly because it was something that it was the first time it had happened, and my body was not used to it, and
I understand.
it wasn't a choice.
When I'm gonna stop just asking the questions and go for the one question that I was going to ask anyway at the
I
end.
had the feeling this was going somewhere.
Bite me!
Your interest seems far less academic than your friends.
Yes, it's definitely not academically based.
No, I have never turned anyone else. No, no one else has ever asked me to. No, I've never thought about whether I would or not.
Those were my questions.
I had something of a feeling. It is not something I've ever considered, as most people would not wish to be afflicted with such a thing, and many of the stories and folk tales paint it in such a bad light that many would not accept regardless. I've never felt the need to force it upon anyone, and again, very few people have ever endeavoured to ask me about it. Aside from my friends and Lord Talbrook, well, a couple of the Lord Talbrooks as a matter of fact, but very few people have really asked much about it. In fact, yourself and your friend have been the first in some time.
Yes, the reasons why the questions are very different for both of us.
Again, I figured, and Gartak wasn't exactly subtle in outlining your friend's intentions towards me.
That brings me to my next question.
She wants my bite!
No. I'm asking about her because.
Oh.
So, just to be sure on where you stand with my friend, were she to try and pursue this?
It's just asking for a friend.
Suppose you were to fall.
Trip into a vagina. I will be honest. Love is not something that I have actively considered or pursued.
He then slipped and fell and it ended me.
Once upon a time, again,
As far as I'm concerned, it was an accident.
courted.
That's the end of the matter.
but haven't done so in a few years now. It's not something that I've really actively pursued, partly due to my affliction.
But surely with someone who understands, they'd be able to help.
Yes, well, I'd have to get past my own insecurities before I can inflict them upon another person.
Oh yeah, Look, he's damaged.
Fix him, damn it!
Oh, you're like a project, do you? Fixer-upper.
So, again, skipping past some of the skirting of the edge questions. You're curious as to whether I would actually pass on my affliction, aren't you?
Yes.
So my question to you. So you sort of don't quite realise, but as you've been walking, you've come to a bench, and he sits down on it and leans back and sort of looks up into the sky, which is darkening at this point. Stars are starting to shine. What would your reasoning be? Why would you wish something such as this upon yourself?
I've had some bad experiences in the past, and there are people that I need to protect, and I'm not strong enough, and no amount of training will make me strong enough.
I mean, I can pick that argument apart immediately. Large amounts of training can make you strong enough. My strength is not based on my affliction. I could take the 5 of your group on without it.
I didn't mean physical strength. The strength of mind to be able to control yourself. I'd need that strength of mind to be able to kill my brother.
But again, strength of mind isn't necessarily related to the strength of mind to control that. That may just take time to get used to it. Strength of mind could be taught better to you by Gartak. Gartak being one of the training he has, he may be the type to do as he sees fit and enjoy life, but his combat is far more disciplined than mine will ever be.
Words. Struggling. Words.
How I feel all the time.
What a dick, eh? What kind of DM fucking demands roleplay?
You're always welcome to switch back and give you time to think.
Switch.
Okay!
She takes a few moments to think about her answer.
Yeah, just bite me, damn it!
Hoff, I'm very interested in some of the questions I have. Can I please have your full name?
Yes, I am Hoff Spitzwig.
And how old are you?
I am 34. Quite young for a gnome, but I left home fairly early.
Perfect. What is your marital status?
I am single.
Are you looking at marriage at some point in your life?
Yes, first I will go out and explore, then I will return to the return back home and find someone.
Where is your home?
It's on the outskirts of.
Outskirts of him.
Sorry, was that city to the.
I can see the map.
Oh, hang on.
But it was a place full of
Cassigal?
That's it. It's a farm. A couple of just half a day's ride outside of Cassigal.
Oh, how very interesting. I was born in Cassigal.
Yeah, no, I worked there a lot. I worked in the trading caravans.
But there's something about me back. There you go.
No, I worked. I left the farm and then went to work with the trading caravans. I was a lookout, scout, security. Yeah.
That's good. See, look, Castle, trade caravans.
Sorry,
You guys
yeah.
will have a lot to talk about.
Oh, well, we seem to connect quite well when we obviously met in Saxton after the Goblin raid, so that's probably why.
So, what is your ambition now? Do you have a plan or something that you're looking for or wanting to do?
When I sort of lost my job because the attacks on a lot of the caravans were increasing. They needed more and more security. So for some of them, it was not financially viable. So a number of the caravan companies collapsed. And I was out of a job. They were, more professional bands of mercenaries were coming in to be guards, and the sort of the contract, the free agents such as myself were out of work. So that's why I found myself in meeting up with you lot. I was wandering around looking for work.
Well, while we're in the keep of Obsidian, and we're doing time training with the Lords of the Land here, I think we should definitely take the opportunity of us working together. Maybe we can all have similar goals of things going forward.
We could form our own company. Yeah.
I think that would be a very sensible idea. I am looking to research around the world and find out new places, and I'm not a particularly aggressive person. It would be nice to have people that could help assist with that.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself overly aggressive, but I am more than willing to fight to protect the people they're protecting.
But I can help protect the people who are protecting me.
That works.
That's my area of magic.
Yes,
Yeah, that does work.
That works.
I need protection.
You can't
but I
argue
can
then.
protect the protectors.
Yes, you will watch the Watchmen.
You ready? We can go back and then after.
No. Carry on.
Okay. And last, what is your full name, please?
Zach Hawkins,
What race are you?
human.
How old are you?
I am 22,
What is your marital
Youngling.
status?
single.
Are you looking to change that?
Not in the immediate future.
Okay. It's just for if I ever see any potential mates, I can point them out to you.
I understand.
Okay.
I didn't know you were a matchmaker.
I am particularly good at it.
Oh.
Yes.
Are you one of the kind of matchmakers who finds it easier hitching other people up, or have you ever managed to do it for yourself?
I'm not good at
I'm not very good
spontaneity.
for
I
myself.
can write things
I
and
mean,
finish
look
it
at me.
out and then say it. And then
I'm not saying the problem.
spontaneity.
I am quite unusual looking and blue.
There's no such thing as usual these days.
That's true. Still, in my experience, yeah, usually one cannot take their own advice given to other people.
Much is the word.
Okay. What is your hometown?
I'm from Cassagor.
Cassagor, look, there's loads of Cassagor people. I mean, I spent the last time more in Sulcath than the Mages College there. I don't know if you ever get a chance, apart from that, I wrote a book.
Oh.
Book here.
Is it quite a big book?
It's quite a dusty tome.
And no, none of you have ever heard of the book.
That's a little bit bigger than the books I usually send to read.
Oh, no, you don't have to read it. I just thought I would tell you a little bit about myself. Okay,
Yeah, can't say that I do a lot of reading, but
okay.
I was introduced to doing some.
Okay.
You can't read.
I can read, I just choose not to.
Well, I used to do a lot of reading as a kid because my parents owned a bookshop.
Oh, that's interesting. What is your ambition in life? Now I know what the others are.
Well, to do what I can and not be an asshole on the way.
So you don't have a strong path, but you're happy to go with the flow.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in joining a company with us?
If I knew what that was.
It means that we would fight by each other's side. We would take on quests. We would share our money between ourselves to help the betterment for the group and their individual targets as our own.
I understand now.
A loyalty to each other.
I think I could sign on that.
Wonderful.
You've heard of the whole being more than some of its parts. You should understand your weapon. You want to build a complex mechanical weapon. The parts in itself, well, gunpowder is dangerous. Bullets, lead bullets.
Not so much without something fired.
Without something to propel them, exactly. But together, it is a lot more dangerous.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Makes sense.
My name is Mel. Oh, my full name is the Carrier. No, let me get campaign my name. I'm 26. I am a tiefling. Obviously.
Is that you got the doodads coming at your head
Yeah.
I don't think it's too polite to call them do that.
No, it's okay. It's my ones.
Okay. Now we know the term.
No, I thought it was more polite to call them doodads. Sounds less threatening.
Yeah. I'm particularly blue. It's quite difficult to tell when I'm cold though. So I've been told.
Sorry, I just found
No,
that amusing.
It was a joke. You got it. I'm from Cassagor. I spent time in Sulcath.
Thank you.
Then I saw you all in Saxton.
I can't find my list. I'm gonna need to
I'm single.
find it off my thing.
Am
Are
I?
you looking to change that in the future?
I think so.
Are there many of your kind around?
No.
Yeah.
I don't really know where my kind are. That's one of the things I'm looking for. I want to find my family one day.
So you're on the road looking for your home, and if you happen to find someone to link up with along the way, all the better for it.
I've already written a book and I want to find out what else is out there. I'd like to write another part of research that maybe hasn't been found to be well documented and published in the Arthur's College.
Yeah, so
And maybe find my family
the
that
quest
way.
for knowledge.
Quest of knowledge. That's why I write everything down.
I understand.
I also am not very good with slang terms and I'm very sorry. So I write the time if I don't understand I will write it down or ask.
But, no, that's fair, that's fine.
I see. That explains a lot. You probably had your nose buried in a book for most of your years.
I'm not very good at talking to people.
You seem to be doing pretty good at it right now.
No, that's not what I mean.
No, I think I know what she means, but at least I understand a bit better now.
Yes.
So is there anyone you've had your eye on?
No.
I don't need to roll to know that's a
Stop. Take meta damage.
Ow!
I don't know. I think Lord Eldgrave is the kind of person, because I'm such a strange looking person, maybe me and him would get on very well, but I don't know. I don't know him very well. So he's very Lord and important, I'm not.
He does have that rugged side to him, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
Ha! Go!
So, you're into men?
Titles don't really have to be the be-all and end-all. I mean, there wasn't always this many nobles. They had to start somewhere.
That's true. I don't know. Maybe I can win him over.
Worst thing you can do is if you ask. Worst thing you can do is say no.
I know. But then it also means that I have to resort to flirting with my best friend, and that's the bit I'm a bit shaky about.
It's fine. I'll come and nip that in the bud in a minute.
You alright, darling?
I think I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Okay, now smell her. Okay, now kiss.
I'm gonna put you in a dress and hurt you real bad.
No, not
What was that?
No, it's not appropriate at this point. You can be
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Now don't forget to lick her eye.
As I said,
His best mate's an orc.
Smell them. Yeah, now kiss. now grab a boo a bit.
First base.
Try not to wear out. Oh shit, I wore out. Oh shit, I clawed her face off.
No, she's dead.
Unless you kill the thing you love.
And we tell the tale of the epic romance.
This is
Really
the
love
tale
stories.
of
Great.
how to kill players.
I've killed the thing I love most. A panda. Amanda? That probably wasn't even a real name.
I thought you said a panda.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
panda.
alright.
Yeah, it's panda. Yeah, do you remember Tropic Thunder? When he kills the panda and he's like, I've killed the thing I love most.
So yeah. Well, so basically we're spending an evening getting to know each other, which is quite nice. So.
Yeah. My
So,
dog
yeah.
in front of the fire and
Dog's
taking
happily-
up all of the in front of the fire.
Yeah, it's a fairly big fireplace. The dog is bigger.
I will periodically be petting the dog.
She seems
Oh look, a bit
happy.
of dog. There we go.
She seems fairly docile.
Right.
Yeah.
Last bit
So-
before cutting off.
So,
Oh yeah.
with both of the things that you've said so far, he's almost looked through you, as I said before, and he almost sees past the fancy words and the things that you're prettying up your want with, and he looks directly at you, and why do you really want this?
A creature of that strength and fortitude is a powerful tool to have one in one's arsenal. And I need a very powerful arsenal to overcome my greatest fear and kill Dorian before he destroys my family.
Dorian being Dorian Harmont.
Yeah. I'm Cassandra Harmont, youngest and only daughter of the Harmont family.
So you see, he takes a moment and he leans forward, and elbows on his knees, takes a moment and stares towards the walls. Power comes in many forms. This this is just one of its more unorthodox forms. Honesty is a power all its own. And you are after a power that is unpredictable, powerful, yes. But you have, after some coaxing, an honest purpose with it, and there is clearly something to it. You are a blood hunter, are you not?
Yes.
I would not wish to afflict people with this unnecessarily. However, your order, if I remember rightly, tend to take in the blood of something to power themselves. Is that not right?
Yes.
I would be willing to lend some of my blood to a similar rite for the purposes of your
Right.
power.
Yes.
I would lend some of my blood to a rite in order for you to see if you are compatible with it.
9 times out of 10 in a blood hunter's transition, they don't pass their rites.
I'm aware. I've known one or two over the years, and it's a painful process in itself. But I'm willing to try that, and if you die, that is the price of you trying.
Thank you.
Just remember to keep yourself honest with why you want a thing, because regardless of the purpose, it is usually the best course.
Usually.
We won't do that tonight. It would be something I imagine you would need to prepare, and I would certainly want
Yes.
to speak with a couple of the others before allowing this to happen. But spend your nights with your friends. Enjoy it, just in case that it's your last.
Thank you.
We'll speak more tomorrow.
Well, that's no point in anonymous.
It's anonymous class, that's the point.
He at that point he sort of sits back. He sits back on the sort of outdoor bench, almost sort of losing himself in thought. And sort of you sort of realise at that point the conversation's pretty much over.
Yeah, it's ended. I'ma leave.
Yeah, you sort of leave him there, sort of, and he's sort of looking up wistfully almost. Do you go and try and find them? Or?
Yeah, I'll go search for these guys.
You'd probably hear us because we're all laughing.
Yeah, so I'd walk into the building and then just hear a chorus of laughter. But there they are.
Yeah. So you wind your way through a few of the corridors and you find the door to what looks like a comfortable room with a fireplace.
Is the door closed or is it open slightly?
It's closed, but it's
And
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
knock.
Come in! Join us!
Okay.
Hi.
So you walk in. So I do have a sense of humour. There I was. I managed to prestidigitate, keep the bucket just above the door. So even as he moved the door, he took 2 steps in, faithful accosted, right in the middle of exam. Yeah.
and it was the biggest squirrel penis I have ever seen.
I think I've missed something here.
We decided that we would have an evening of getting to know one another.
Less alcohol this time?
No alcohol this time.
There's tea on the table. And a dude by the fireplace. Yes, we're getting to know each other. A lot of us are from the same city. We're thinking about forming a company.
Okay.
Yes. But to what name? It should be a good name, a fearsome name, a name well recognised. It needs to be catchy. You guys are traders.
touchy.
You're probably better at catching names than me.
Well, it depends what we're going to specialise in.
I don't know. Sort of, we take on jobs people don't want to do, but maybe not below ourselves. Things that lead us on great adventures. Things to write about.
What's a good name for a team? No, that's taken.
The Legion of Doom. No, wait,
That makes us sound like we're bad guys.
Yeah.
We're not bad guys.
The
We're the good guys.
The Horizon Seekers.
I think we put that in the maybe pile.
Let's put a pin in that.
Shut down in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, when people say, we'll keep it under consideration. No, it's in the bin. It's burnt. It's dead.
How about blazing saddles?
We'll keep your CV on file.
Aww.
Best lie ever.
I think we should think about it. Maybe decide next week.
Yeah, over a period of time that may or may not be a week.
Oh, pro segue.
Ah.
So, you all converse, have a laugh, get to know each other, share a few slightly more intimate details based on your interrogations than you necessarily would have done in a natural manner. But you seem it's largely part of her charm as an individual.
I'm
and
waiting for my
intellectual.
interrogation next week.
For this evening, however, the interrogation gets a bit lost, and again, you share stories and indulge. You each head back to your various rooms, get your heads down for a night's sleep with no extra alcohol being put into your system in this case, for example.
A little bit of extra alcohol being put in my system.
And each of you drifts off to a comfortable, almost contented sleep, knowing you've had a day of preparing and possibly even getting ready for your futures. Your dreams are filled with the faces of your brothers, all of them, your mother, your father. You remember flashes of the night that you left, and then you have flashes of the fight that you recently shared with Lysander, and the form he took as he shifted, and beyond that, you don't really know. You have a almost blissful night compared to last night, intoxicated as you were, but you remember the look on your father's face more than once of disappointment, as time and again that you argued against the things that he wanted you to do that you just didn't want. And it's a thing that just drifts through your mind. Hoff, you dream of your caravan. You see some of the friends that you made, some faces who are no longer with you, others who just no longer lead the lives they once did. You remember a few of your nights shared with Barefoot, drinking and throwing a few dice, playing a few games here and there. Largely wondering where they might be now. Wonder if they'd ever believe that you spent a night here in the Obsidian Keep, let alone two. Zach, you dream of some of the books that you've read. You almost see the story play out in front of you from some of your favourite books. You see the great hero riding a horse off into whatever town he is to save various people from their various plights and issues. You largely enjoy this almost realistic interpretation of the stories that you've read, wondering why you might be dreaming of them at this point. Maybe it's the thought of getting your own gun brings the thought of the stories of your hero back to your mind. Macaria, you dream of almost pure blackness, and you hear a voice that you've heard once or twice before. A voice that's shared knowledge on occasion. You can't quite make out the word he seems to be saying, though. And it's like trying to hold water between your outstretched fingers. It almost trickles past and you can't quite make it out. And you can't hold on to a solid thought of what he's saying. And we'll leave it with that.
Damn, the way it was building up, it was just like, and you have a nice evening, you drift off to sleep,
and everyone gets stabbed in their sleep.
and it keeps on fire. You know, I was
Bang!
Spoilers!
Wait.
And there he is, Zack, standing above you with his perfected gun.
I finished it in one night, and you didn't believe in me.
It must be consecrated with blood.
Nothing personal, kid.
Only with blood is it complete.
I'll read some more of that in a minute.
Fine.
So yeah,
Excuse me.
No.
that largely happened. You guys have had a little bit of time to get to know each other. You've had a little bit of time, a few of you, to venture just beyond the walls into the city itself, to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of a few things, get fucking wasted in some cases. You've had a chance to do a little bit of training towards what is functionally your level 3 level ups and such, and we will get to some crafting next week, as well as potentially rolling on towards future things.
Oh.
I
Very
craft
funny
gun.
Pete.
Future things. Wedding. No, I'm joking.
Fuck me, you're quick at this shit. How the fuck are you putting that in naturally at that point?
I
You should not be a DM.
Don't be a Mosby.
Me. What? Propose?
No, firstly,
To the
I love
fi-
you.
To girl number 15. But yeah. So thank you very much, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. So we're going to continue, obviously, with this next week, where we continue from there. Obviously on Saturday, me and Cassus are going to be continuing with more Mass Effect, which you never know. We might be reaching the end. Not sure. Maybe. So hope you have a good day, evening, wherever you might be, and bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dash.